Yo, what's up, guys? You got pokeaim here, and welcome to the WBE Singles Draft for this season of the WBE. I, of course, am pokeaimMD, like I said, coach of the New York Dreepies, and we have with me another coach. You want to say hi?
Hello, what is poppin'? I'm here. My name is Lord Emvee. You might know me from my channel, Lord Emvee, but if you don't know me, now you do.
Well, what are you the coach of? Do you want to let them know anything else?
I'm the coach of the Chim Chargers, by the way.
Yes.
And,
Thank you. Anyway, so we're doing a little bit differently this time. This is just going to be a video on my channel. I may be restreaming it on Twitch, not 100% sure. However, this is only for the singles division of the WBE. The VGC stream will be up on twitch.tv/adrive at, I believe, 1 p.m. Eastern, so definitely stay tuned for that. So before we actually get into this and go through all the slides and everything, and you guys see what everybody picked, of course, if you're new, feel free to subscribe and make sure you also check out all of the other channels. They're all linked down below. We'll be going through every single coach. So Emvee and I are both here. I'm coach of the New York Dreepies. Emvee's coach of the San Diego Chim Chargers. Chimpack is also part of the singles division, coach of the Philadelphia Scissors. Visually is coach of the Antarctic Aegislashes. We have Fruitberries, who is a Minecraft PvP god, coach of the Georgia Goomies. Automatic, of course, coach of the Nuzleafs. I'm not even gonna bother saying this. The first one for Auto.
yeah.
We got Hoodlum Callum, coach of the Dundee Dials. The Uzi Gunner, coach of the Bullet Punch Club. James Bake, coach of the Jubilife Piplups. Patty Trills, coach of the Sin City Scissors. Magnitude, coach of the Milwaukee Sawsbuck, also the previous season winner. Nexus, coach of the Pittsburgh Pichus. Moet, coach of the Wakanda Weavals. That's a +1. Coach of the Baton Rouge Butterfrees, excuse me. Fanatax, coach of the Star Chews, and Seabat, coach of the Detroit Steel Wings. So that should be it. And honestly, is there anything else? Should I just start right with it? Let's just go.
Well, maybe
right?
we could talk about like what the draft league is.
Oh, and the rules and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take it away.
All right. So essentially, what happened was we tiered each Pokemon. The rules are that there are a total of 11 Pokemon on your team. One of them is going to be your S tier or your tier 1. Then you have one Pokemon that's going to be your tier A or your tier 2. 2 Pokemon from the tier after that. 4 Pokemon from tier, I believe, B. And then 3 more Pokemon.
Yes.
In the final
yes.
tier.
So you have 11 Pokemon.
Yeah, and you have to fill all of those slots as well. Now we also have a ban list and everything in a tier list as well. Which I think should be public by now.
Yeah, everything should be public. But
yeah,
I think to go over it real quick, we banned Libero Cinderace, we banned Magearna, we banned Dracovish, we banned both Urshifus. And there's anything else? Mew? Anything else I'm thinking of?
Yeah, Mew.
Aegislash?
No, we have Aegislash.
We let Aegislash be alive? Okay, we let Aegislash be alive.
And I guess all the other Uber Pokemon that are there.
Yeah, and also our tiers are a little bit wonky, but the thought behind it was we actually had an S tier and it was really big, so we split into 2. So technically tier 1 is S tier and tier 2 is also S tier. So it just looks like everything's all out of the place. And then tier 3 is technically an A tier, which is why some of the mons look ridiculous. But we wanted it. The whole theme of this draft is that everybody has a good team no matter what. Meaning even if you're left with your three tier 5
or lowest tier picks.
They're all good Pokemon. Like there's some amazing Pokemon in tier 5, and I think everybody has a good team, which is what we really want out of this, because who the hell wants to play in a draft league with a bad team? So
exactly.
Without further ado, let's get right into the first pick. And Emvee, why don't you take it away right now?
First pick from the Georgia Goomies. This is gonna be Clefable. S tier Pokemon, I think. What in OU?
Yeah, I mean everywhere, right? It's a good one. Teleport definitely brought a lot for this Pokemon, and I mean everybody knows how versatile it is in draft league. I feel I don't think there's much like to say about Clef. It's a good pick. It's a fantastic fairy, and I think you should always have a fairy in draft.
Fruitberry has a solid first pick overall.
Yeah, especially as this is his first time really playing. I mean, he's played draft with friends, but this is his first time playing like just Pokemon and uploading it to YouTube. So next up we have Emvee. You want to talk about your pick?
That was pick number 2. Dragapult is what I wanted to play with, because usually if I'm in the middle or end of the draft, I'm probably not going to get Dragapult, and I wanted to try it out because of its speed tier, versatility. I think it's a Pokemon that I can do really well with because I love versatile mons, and just it can really do like a lot of different things.
Yeah, its speed tier is the best thing. Like you could probably run max HP on this Pokemon every week and still outspeed the majority of the draft. We do have a limit, however, like on Baton Pass, you can only dry pass. That's it. So you can only use Baton Pass as like a means of using U-turn or something like that, or Volt Switch to compare. But you can't pass boost, you can't pass subs. And that's something that Chimpak actually did last season with Dragapult. Not in this, but in the APA that he did to a lot. So. Emvee,
I think without Gigantamax and Dynamax and stuff, it's gonna be a pretty solid mon.
Yeah, we also forgot to mention that in the beginning. There is no Gigantamax or Dynamax in this. Screw all that. We're just gonna be having Pokemon battles right here and see how it goes. So next up we have Chimpak, who picked Zeraora. I'm a huge fan of Zeraora. Great speed tier. It was nice in the 5 seconds I had it from Gator in last season when it was on my team and made Wolf not bring Tornadus. But I think that was about it. I think, again, in terms of speed tier, it's great. Amazing move pool, too. Like Blaze Kick, Play Rough in terms of coverage and Grass Knot. And Chimpak is really good at using whatever he gets. So I think this is a phenomenal pick.
Good mons with high speed tiers are really rare. And
exactly.
This was definitely something I was going to pick if Dragapult went.
Exactly. Ooh, speaking of Aegislash, you want to take this one away?
Alright, so the Nuzleafs are going to be picking up Aegislash here, which was also on my list too if I had gotten Sniped, but seeing as I was pick number 2, that was not going to happen. Aegislash is really fun to use. It can be very defensive and offensive at the same time with its shield form, so it's really nice in that regard, and gives them a really, really good steel type to start it off because there's no Magearna, and I think Aegislash is probably one of the best or better steel types in the format right now.
Easily, and it can do so much, special and physical, so a really strong start for Auto for sure. We have Terrakion from Seabad. I love Terrakion. I think it's a lot better in Draft 2 than it is in like standard OU. And obviously, we don't have any Gliscor. There's no Landorus running around right now. So high speed tier, high attack, strong attacks like Stone Edge, Close Combat, and Earthquake. And I'm excited to see how Chase actually makes use of this Pokemon, especially, like I've never seen Terrakion in a metagame where, you know, there wasn't these counters to it in draft specifically. So I think it's a really strong pick. Ooh, speaking of strong picks, this is actually my first pick from before, if I'm not mistaken. James picks up the Corviknight. Now James is predominantly a VGC player, a very good VGC player, and I'm really excited to see how his transition into draft singles goes. I know that Wolf obviously had a really good one, and Aaron as well is doing a lot better in draft, which is really cool to see. So Corviknight is just a great Pokemon. If Dynamax was around, I probably would have picked this still too, just because it's so good at stalling out the Dynamax turns. But being able to sub-bulk up, being able to taunt, abusing pressure and mirror armor, and getting U-turn and basically guaranteed defogs off, I think Corviknight is one of the better tier 1s. And they're all good, but I think it's a strong defensive tier 1.
Yeah, it's super good defensively, and offensively it can really be a threat too with bulk up or like power trip and stuff too. It's really nice.
You've used
Necrozma.
We both used this, I think.
Yeah, I've used it before too. It's actually so much better this gen with Dragon Dance, and like it can pressure like a lot of teams so offensively because it can Calm Mind, it can Autotomize, it can Dragon Dance, it can Swords Dance. Just versatile in setup, and Prism Armor always helps it take hits better, so you can easily just slap on like Weakness Policy on your sets and stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just so nice. Yeah.
Stupid Psychic type getting Dragon Dance. I got swept by one of these in UU today. Ooh, this is a very strong tier 1. Now, this was actually one of the mons that I was looking at too, because I'm obviously at the later end at the draft. And Uzi picks up Hydreigon. I love this Pokemon because I think that when it comes to prepping versus this mon, it's too much. Whether it be special, it has Nasty Plot this generation, as well as Dragon Dance. Some great immunities in ground because of Levitate, as well as obviously the Psychic immunity. And it's really bulky too, and has some good resistances as well, just being dark and dragon. So I think it's we're going to hit this a lot, but there's a lot of good strong starts here. There's not too many Pokemon that I'm going to be like, oh, that Pokemon sucks. Like,
yeah, it's so easy to get a strong start because there's just so many great Pokemon to pick as a 1 or S tier Pokemon.
Exactly, yeah. S tier 1 had basically 24 Pokemon, and there's only 16 coaches, so basically all of them are going to be picked at a point in time. Of course, you don't have to pick in order if you want to. And speaking of which, the Baton Rouge Butterfrees got Kingdra, so you already know which one they're going for in this case. This is definitely going to be a rain type of build. Keep in mind that we did change it, so like it was very hard to get. For example, you can never get Pelipper plus Kingdra
Right.
Because Pelipper was tier 2. Same thing with like Torkoal or like
T-Tar and Excadrill are a pair that you can't get together. We tiered them high so that people can't get like these like really good weather cores together, and so you have to kind of plan around that. So if you want to get Drill, you got to pick up something like Hippo or Gigalith or something like that. If you want to get like Kingdra, for instance,
you got to get Politoed, which is
way
worse, way worse than Pelipper.
But Kingdra, I think, as the first pick is I mean, I guess it just shows the route you wanted to go. But
just to keep in mind, we did allow week 0 transactions before because again we wanted this to be we wanted people to go into the draft league liking their Pokemon, so that's like the idea behind it. So I believe this was actually a transaction, but again we're just gonna be going as if it's like the first pick because it doesn't really matter, those Pokemon don't exist, we go into that before. So next up we have Volcarona from the Wakanda Weavile. Oof. Talk about Volk, bro. Talk about Volk.
Let me tell you right now, this is such a Moed Pokemon. Volcarona is
is a Moed Pokemon.
This is such a Moed Pokemon. I know he's just gonna run Quiver Dance every week, same set every week. You know, it's gonna be working out because heavy duty boots on every single mon. I'm pretty sure. But it's just such a nice mon, dude. Like it just sets up really easily. You have great coverage overall. You can even run like specs or something like that if you want to. If your matchup is not really that hazard oriented, but overall just a really good mon.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, like you said, it's a Moed Pokemon for sure. He did a lot. In the APA, he did a lot of the same things, and a lot of times they just worked. You know?
Yeah.
A lot of times they just worked. So it's a really strong pick, and I'm happy to see Moed get a Volcarona. I'm also happy to see him in the WBE. We have Magnitude getting tier 3 Reuniclus, starting it off. So again, you're right. How the hell is Reuniclus tier 3? Keep in mind that would be considered A tier.
Tier 2, yeah.
A-tier, literally A tier. Mm-hmm. So S tier would be tier 1 and tier 2. So Reuniclus is a great Pokemon. I've used it in draft many a time, and now it has stored power, and stored power is broken with acid armor, as well as the magic guard and whatnot. Crazy that he picked it up immediately, but I guess
it's a great tribute to Wolf, who picked it up as well.
Yeah, his first pick. 1. You're right. You're right. Absolutely.
Great tribute to him.
Yeah, it's
a good bargain mon for tier 3 though, for sure. Like it's really good for its tier.
Yeah, it's a good like a tier 3 Reuniclus. I would pick it up too eventually. So I understand him wanting that. And again, like we mentioned before, tier 1 and tier 2 had plenty of Pokemon, so you could always get something good even if it wasn't part of your initial draft plan.
Exactly.
Speaking of, I get Excadrill, and I'm really excited about this because I've always wanted Excadrill in a draft league, and I feel like Excadrill is so good. Not only does it have Sand Rush or Mold Breaker and Sand Force, but also they have the buff to Rapid Spin, which is really, really nice when it comes to Excadrill. I saw Wolf using this really well before as well, and again, that speed boost to Excadrill it's a Pokemon that has very little switch-ins, and when there is only one Skarmory and one Corviknight, there's no Celesteela, there's no Gliscor, there's no Landorus, there's no Breloom, you know, like there's no like a lot of its natural responses don't really exist at the moment. So that's why I picked up Excadrill, and I
like it a lot. Like it's just so nice because you can choose in your matchup whether to run a Sand ability or Mold Breaker.
Exactly.
And it just works well.
It's annoying. And it also it annoys prep too, which is a big thing.
Yeah.
Oof, I love this mon too. Visually picking up the Jirachi, and Jirachi is, again, if you're talking about versatility, it's like on par with Clefable up there. It can do whatever it wants. Wish support, it can flinch you to death. That's something to keep in mind as well in terms of prep. Do not bring a Rocky Helmet Mon or something versus this Pokemon because it will flinch you to death. Calm Mind, it got Aura Sphere in its move pool now too, which is pretty big for mons like Bisharp, though Bisharp might not be as good in draft as it is in singles. That's something as well. So it can sub Calm Mind on Pokemon like Ferrothorn. Even though everything got knockoff and Body Press now, like, this is another mon that can just beat those Pokemon 1v1. And
I like this mon a lot. I mean, it's one of the mons that I enjoy using just because of how versatile it is. You can't really expect what set to show up for each match. I mean, it could be Scarf, it could be just sub 3 attacks, Calm Mind. There's just a lot it can do, really.
Yeah. Grimmsnarl. Callum picking up Grimmsnarl. Like, I love Grimmsnarl when I drafted. I know you loved it too.
Oh, you already know I did, bro.
Of course, I was limited to Pokeballs, whereas Emvee wasn't. Why don't you talk a little bit about Grimmsnarl since you used it?
Yeah, let me tell you about it. I use the
Pokemon.
Gmax form, right, each week, but last season. But let me tell you something, right? Even regular Grimmsnarl can do just as well because it still, it has that priority with Prankster, so it can be a good support moment screens. But it can also bulk up. It can still nasty plot too. You have priority with Sucker Punch. You have really great coverage moves overall that you can tailor towards your matchup, and really good typing as well, Dark and Fairy. It's a Pokemon that can be troublesome a little bit to my Dragapult, so that's something I got to keep in mind there. But I really like this Pokemon a lot in terms of what it can do. Just
Yeah.
super versatile.
It's as good as like offensive as it is support, and I honestly feel
Yeah.
like a lot of people sleep on Grimmsnarl's moveset. It has things like Power Whip in there that you might not necessarily see ever in standard, but here you could, depending on what your
Yeah.
opponent has. We have Kyurem. So we have Fate Attacks picking up Kyurem, and this mon got Dragon Dance now and Icicle Spear, so that's pretty cool for it. Obviously, it's not as great as Kyurem Black, but with Pressure and Sub Roost, Freeze Dry as well. This is a Pokemon that has very little to no switch-ins in period. Just because of its phenomenal
Honestly, I'm
moveset.
surprised this Pokemon didn't go sooner. With some of the other Pokemon that went first. I mean, this Pokemon is fantastic. I've used it before. I think you know that too well.
I do
From our
remember.
match. And that's when it didn't even get Freeze Dry. But with Freeze Dry, it just makes it so much easier to break down water types. So little switch-ins too, because there's only one Clefable, there's only one like Chansey or whatever. But
One Blissey.
then you can run physical sets as well. So like this thing is also really versatile.
Yeah, I've used Hone Claws as well. I've used it like with Sub Dragon Tail to beat like Suicunes and stuff before it got Freeze Dry.
Yeah.
And then rounding up round one, we have Nexus picking up Keldeo, Tier 2 Keldeo. What are your thoughts on his pick? Now, he does get the double back-to-back
like it.
pick, so it doesn't really matter what he picks right now, to be fair.
Exactly. I really like Keldeo. I used it up a bunch as well back in the day. It's really nice to use. Now I think it gets some extra
Flip turn
coverage and
and air
stuff.
slash,
Flip turn,
yeah.
yep.
Flip turn's
Air slash
big.
flip turn.
Flip turn is big because
For momentum, it's really good. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think it's a steal at tier 2.
yeah, I
It's
agree.
definitely a Pokemon that can be a really great value pick at that tier, and he gets to round it up with another core like of something
Yeah, and
since he's back to back.
I think a big thing is too, like, flip turn isn't like U-turn. You're not hitting the opponent with a physical move and taking Rocky Helmet or damage like that. So if a Mungus comes out and has Rocky Helmet, that's not going to affect Keldeo. You go for your Specs flip turn. You
I
bring
thought
out
it
the next
does.
Pokemon.
I'm pretty sure it does.
Does flip turn actually do? Oh, it's physical. Duh. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. Ignore me.
It's okay, it's okay.
Ignore me completely. I like mixed it up with Volt Switch for a second. I'm sorry, guys. It's a little bit late. My bad. But yeah. Okay, you still take your damage, but it's still great for momentum too, because like grasses are going to be your answers, and I mean if they're Keldeo answers, a lot of them are going to be Assault Vest, and even then Keldeo gets Air Slash now too, which is an amazing
Yeah.
thing to boot. But
Even though it didn't power it, like it still has the coverage that it can use to work
Yep.
really well. I feel in
Speaking
any
of-
matchup.
speaking of steals, we're starting off round 2 with my boy Nexus getting Weavile, and Kelly's
Weavile's
actually one of the
crazy,
best
dude.
Weavile switch-ins. So I love this idea of drafting a Pokemon and drafting a Mon that like does either really bad versus it or really well versus it. So Keldeo is a phenomenal switch with a phenomenal offensive Pokemon with Weavile. I love this combination, the speed tier. Obviously, Weavile did lose Pursuit, which is one of its biggest things. In draft, a Pokemon is either has to be really good at what it does or is just good at doing anything. And Weavile is one of those Pokemon that I used to think was really good at what it does. Right? You know what it was going to do every week. It was going to knock you off. It was going to low kick. It was going to Icicle Crash. It was going to Pursuit. And now it's lost that Pursuit option, but it does have heavy duty boots, which is big for Swords Dance. And
Yeah.
it has triple axle as well, which is still pretty cool. And
Just flip turning into Weavile is just like so scary. Like what's even scarier than that? Listen, like you got a Keldeo flip turn, bring in your Choice Banded Weavile, spam knockoff, spam triple axle.
I'm saying, man, it's a very scary one. So next up, we have, speaking of scary Pokemon, Tier 2 Hatterene. Now, Hatterene was actually the reason why we split up Tier 1, I think. Because we were like, Hatterene is not on the same level as like Libero and Cinderace, but I don't want to put this mon in like A tier and make it too easy for people to be able to get. So Hatterene's a great Pokemon. Nuzzle,
The
obviously
Barrack
Invisible Fire.
Cinderace got banned. Is also on the ban list. I forgot if you mentioned that.
But I mean, like in general, Rillaboom,
Yeah.
like Grassy Church, Rillaboom. I didn't want to put them in the exact same thing right there.
There's a line between something like Dragapult, Rillaboom, and Zero Aura and stuff, and then like Grimmsnarl, Hatterene, and things like that. That's why we kind of split it up.
Yeah, exactly. Like we thought they were really good, but we didn't want them to be, here. And I think Hatterene just magic bounce. It's really
Magic
really
Bound is great
versatile
support for like blocking Stealth Rocks
for
for Kyurem,
Kyurem.
so that Kyurem doesn't have to run heavy duty boots each week.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a good pick. It's a strong pick. Cobalion, another mon that I've had the pleasure
Dropping
of
from the
using.
tier 4
And
though,
so
bro.
did you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about though. Tier 4 Cobalion. But yeah, straight up Stealth Rock. Great with Grimmsnarl because obviously it resists all the attacks that Grimmsnarl doesn't like coming at it. And just being able to not only give Stealth Rock support, but also being able to provide Swords Dance, Calm Mind, the Steel Beam, which is cool too. I've used Spec Steel Beam, which is really nice. And just as a defensive pivot with Rocky Helmet, I think that's a really, really, like in terms of like budgeting your Pokemon to get something that works with your other Pokemon, I love Cobalion. I do.
Yeah, and I think with screen support, it can really
Set
function
up.
well as a sweeper. And also, like with the momentum that it has, it can bring in a lot of its other mons a bit safer.
Exactly.
And yeah, I like that a lot.
Oof. Yo, his team is getting scarier and scarier to switch in at the second. Alakazam would visually talk a little bit about Zam, bro.
I like Zam a lot. Now that it gets access to Nasty Plot, dude, like it can break things a lot better than it could before. It just takes me back to like the old black and white teams where people were running like Drachi Zam on the same team. And I don't know if you remember those kind of style teams, but it's just so nice.
Yeah, I do.
And with Magic Guard, you don't have to worry about your sash breaking or taking hazard damage or anything like that. You can run Life Orb without taking damage either too. And just the speed tier that it has is really great. And Drachi, you turning into it is really threatening for sure.
Yeah, and just being able to run Magic Guard Sash and Magic Guard Life Orb and even Expanding Force and whatever, like just two Pokemon that are just so annoying to deal with.
Yeah.
So I decided to draft the probably one of the best Excadrill switch-ins besides like Tangrowth, and that is Slowbro. I
Dude,
wanted to be able to teleport.
I've been using it a lot lately, dude.
In OU,
it's
right?
so good. Yeah, in OU, it's so good.
Yeah, it's super good at OU, and I mean I also wanted obviously the water resist for Excadrill, and I think Excadrill is the best ground type right now.
Yeah.
Period. Like in terms of offense, easily, right? There's no Landorus, there's no Gliscor, there's no Garchomp. So I wanted Bro because I wanted to limit somebody else's switch-ins to my Excadrill, and obviously teleport support, future sight support, whole bunch of things. This one gets Nasty Plot now too, so there's a lot that Slowbro can do. Ooh, Como. What do you think about this?
Como is great. Like for getting it in round 2, I think it's really solid. I think it's one of the more versatile dragons that you could get because of the number of setup that it has. It can set up in so many ways that you don't know what's going to happen, and it can be defensive with rocks and Iron Defense Body Press as well. It could be a defensive sweeper, offensive sweeper, just a defensive mon. And it has really great abilities in like Soundproof, which can block sound moves, and then Bulletproof, which can block a bunch of other moves like Shadow Ball and Sludge Bomb
and we
stuff like that.
we didn't ban Clanger's Soul, so
Yep, so he's got that option too.
to Omni Boost. So Steve's team definitely looking a little bit scary. Speaking of scary, man, Moet drafting another mon that needs heavy duty boots sounds just like Moet. We
Sounds
got
like Moet.
Gyarados and Volcarona. Gyarados has so much now. Like the Power Up is such a big addition to this because you can't just wall it with your bulky waters before, like before. So Moxie and Intimidate defensively. It goes really well with Volk, though obviously the rock weakness is something that Mo will have to patch up as he keeps going. But in terms of offense, his team is extremely scary right now.
The reason I really like this core is because the bulky grasses like Ferrothorn and Tangrowth that wall Gyarados are destroyed by Volcarona.
Yeah.
It's just so nice in that regard.
And everything else
If only
is destroyed
Gyarados
by
got
Volk,
flipped
too.
though. If
Oh
only it got
God, it'd be too much. It'd be too much. Mimikyu. Ooh, I love Mimikyu because especially since you see the Kingdra immediately, you kind of have this like your team's already like you're saying, okay, I'm running some sort of rain, right? Period, right? I'm running some sort of rain. And rain is offensive, and Mimikyu is such a good like offensive glue, I would say, because what does offense hate? Offense sometimes hates opposing offense, like Trick Room or something. Mimikyu can be anti that. Offense doesn't necessarily switch into Pokemon, but Mimikyu can be a guaranteed switch for something, get a red card out there too. So I really like Mimikyu, and I've always wanted to use it in draft, and I've seen I've seen my boys sweep with it a lot in draft, and I like it like when paired with Kingdra too. I think they go really well together.
Yeah, I really like the Chinese Mimikyu with Infestation and Curse Pain Split. I also like Adamant Mimikyu with Life Orb.
Yeah, I like neither of those. So going forward, oof, Rotom Heat, bro. Asamon that was on my list. Was that on your list too?
Rotom he was not on my list, but I think it's a fantastic Pokemon. It is one of the better Rotom forms actually this generation, as you know, the heavy duty boots addition to it just makes it so nice to use and without any kind of drawback at all either.
Yeah, Nasty Plot
and with
too.
Hydreigon it forms a nice full turn core.
Exactly, and getting Nasty Plot too, and maybe like the fairy type attacks coming out on Hydreigon, Rotom does resist, so they work really well together. And Hydreigon obviously, you know, defensively checks Pokemon that Rotom doesn't like. Mienshao, we see Necrozma, then we see him drop all the way down to tier 4 Mienshao, and I think that's an.
See, I really like these people having the eye for like these gems in the lower tiers.
That's what I'm saying,
knowing
man.
when to take it, you know.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I can't even like front on that. First off, Mienshao is probably like a tier 3 Pokemon, if anything, right?
Yeah, it is.
And so not only does it bring Fake Out, it gets close combat now, which is great. With Regenerator, it's amazing. We've used Assault Vest before too, which I think can work really well in Draft 2. Regenerator is just a good ability. Reckless is a phenomenal ability as well. And I just think this is a really, like, it works really well with Necrozma too, because you turn out into this beast on your like your.
Or you just destroy the dark types and stuff from Necrozma so that it can just set up. It's just so great at what it can do.
Ooh, speaking of breakers, man, and great what it can do. Look at Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr plus Corviknight. I love it.
I like it, yeah.
Yeah, because all the super effective attacks aimed at Conkeldurr, Corviknight can just eat up, and Conkeldurr can just break with Flame Orb and whatnot. Close combat. You used it in your draft. How'd you like it when you used it last time?
I did. No, it was great, dude. Like, it did what it does best, and that's just being able. It can sponge some hits and it can fire off hard-hitting attacks. Personally, when I used it though, I wasn't like the biggest fan of it, just because I felt like I was getting pressured and people were just over prepping for it, just because it's such a big threat.
I feel like Dynamax made
Dynamax made a big difference too, exactly, because
Pokemon wouldn't be able to
could live hits. Yeah, Pokemon could live hits, and I couldn't do much damage. But I think in like this format without Dynamax and Gigantamax and stuff, it'll be a lot better. I think it'll be a lot scarier too.
Agreed. So next up we have Terracotta right here. Seabed drafting Whimsicott.
We're here for the VGC draft right here.
Bro, so I absolutely love Whimsicott when I drafted. I know Wolf used it last season as well.
Yeah.
When I drafted, like just using Prankster, Subseed, Defog, Switcheroo with like your Infiltrator ability. I absolutely love it. And just Tailwind plus Bandit Terrakion looks very, very, very scary as well. And just, you know, being that water resist for Terrakion.
Personally, I think it was a bit early taking Whimsicott now. I think it's a great mon, but I in my opinion, I think Whimsicott was a bit early. I didn't think it was going to go until like at least round 3 or so.
Well, I mean, you got to also remember that Seabed is pretty close to the front, so he can get it now, he can get it next time. It's no like, difference, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because round 3 is coming up for him. But we have Mandibuzz, so Otto drafted one of the best age/answers.
Yep.
That's smart drafting. That's it. You want to make sure that your Pokemon is an offensive threat, and you want to get rid of their answers. So he drafted Mandibuzz. I'm just reading it all caps right there.
Mandibuzz.
One of the best glues in OE right now, and just a good glue in general. The only thing it needs to do is avoid hazard, heavy duty boots, and U-turn out. That's it. Defog if it needs to. But
I've used it before. I really liked it a lot. I was thinking about getting it to pair with Dragapult. When it got taken, I was just like, I guess it's to be expected, because Aegislash is a fantastic partner for it.
Yeah.
It's essentially just taking counter off the board.
Exactly.
And it works really well for him, I feel.
Yep. So we have the keys from Chimpact, and this is such a Chimpact draft. Now he didn't have this at first, but again, we had those week 0 transactions. This was Indeedee.
Yeah, the transaction.
I think this is Indeedee, but like he drafted Indeedee without looking at what he could use with it, so he made the transaction because he could have used, everybody else drafted the abusers, basically is what I'm trying to say. So
yeah,
we have the keys right here. Gators used this Pokemon. I've used this Pokemon plenty of times. Spike support, dual screens, Imprison Defog I think is really cool too, and that's something that shouldn't be slept on with Klefki as well. Just Imprison dual screens.
Klefki is just a super annoying Pokemon, dude. Like it can, like when you want to bring in a threat, it'll just T-wave you. When you want to try to hit it with a ground type attack, it'll Magnet Rise.
Yep.
Like, it's just so annoying.
Annoying as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of annoying Pokemon, you're drafting a mon that you drafted, I think, in your first ever draft league on YouTube.
I
Togekiss.
did that. I did that as well, and I also picked it up. I think 2 seasons ago for WBE. Dude, Togekiss is so nice. I call it best defogger of the generation, of course. Um, and because Manabuzz was taken, I was like, okay, wait a second. This is kind of better because Togekiss can do what Togekiss does best,
Yeah, I
and
mean, you
that's
have a win con every week of just flinching. Like, I think it's
yeah. And I had the idea of like if I take Togekiss off the board, Dragapult does not have to face it at all. And I think they both pair really well together because Togekiss beats down the dark types and stuff that Dragapult doesn't appreciate.
no, I agree.
And it's a really great stall breaker in a sense, and it can be very annoying. It works well with Hex Dragapult by T-waving stuff and spreading that yellow magic. Togekiss is so much fun to use.
It is. It is a good Pokemon. You could even run physical if you try. So we have Haxorus rounding up round 2 from Fruit. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. I brought Choice Band Haxorus basically every week of last season of WB, and it never failed me ever. Now,
I've fallen in love with Haxorus,
yeah.
dude. Like that Pokemon is such a threat.
first impression, you could run Facade on literally any Choice Band set could run Facade, just because you just throw it in on Skulls, everything Skull burns it, and you just have this max power Facade coming out. And
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I have Corviknight, so it's different, but he has one of the best answers too. Like,
SD Scale Shot, dude, is one of the biggest threats on Haxorus that I've ever seen because you get a +2 attack and a
speed
+1
boost,
speed.
yeah.
And then you need priority to knock it out like at that point in time, or a really fast Scarfer.
It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice to see. And we're starting. Hello? What the hell? No. Why is the next one not working? Okay.
Is that it? Is that
No,
over?
no. We'll keep going with the draft in a sec. And we're back with round 3, and we see Magnezone with Haxorus and Clefable. What a great pick, dude. What a fantastic pick.
I really like Magnezone a lot. I really do like it a lot. And he's got his Dragon Fairy Steel combination. I like that core a
so
lot
early.
too.
Magnezone's a great mon, dude. I use it in draft. Fantastic. No hidden power, but it can sub body press. It can trap Corviknight, which is so good for Haxorus as well as Clefable. And just even Analytic is so strong because there's not very many good switch-ins to this Pokemon, especially when you
I really
see...
always loved running like AV Analytic when I used it back a couple seasons ago in GB or something. I loved using
Miracle,
our
too.
AV, like sometimes specs. It's just such a great versatile mon in terms of, you can run a bunch of different sets on it and abilities too per matchup.
It just does its job, and that's why I absolutely love Magnezone. We have Mamoswine from you. Good pick. Strong offensive presence, and, talk about your Chinese Mamoswine.
Adamant life orb. No, I'm just kidding. We got the Chinese AV Mamoswine. That's the one. That's the one I like the most, dude. Taking this off the board was nice because Dragapult and Togekiss don't even have to worry about it.
Exactly.
Gives me a really solid ground type. Probably one of my more favorite ground types in this generation besides Drill.
Yeah,
I think it's
I would say it would be like the second best offensive ground type, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. And the way that I'm going with this team is like I want to run like a lot of wall breaking offense and just break through things. I'll definitely get some walls too, of course, so that my team isn't D+ rated by analysts professionally. But yeah, like stealth rocks and just being able to like I think that ground ice coverage is so good overall. There are like few Pokemon that can do with it. And the water types that can switch in also get hit by freeze dry too.
I mean, they also get destroyed by Life Orb Earthquake as well, and like Bronzong gets knocked off, and so good.
I like that.
Good Pokemon overall. We have Crocodile from Chimpak, and I love this Pokemon. Why is it all the way to the left? I love this Pokemon when I drafted this. Crook was great, both Moxie as well as Intimidate. I mean, if Urshifu was around, you could even use Anger Point if you want to, but it's not. But I love Crook plus Zeraora. Again, when we're talking about ground types and we're talking about like offensive, I would put Crook in like top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
Just because the knockoff is so good with that, and being able to make use of that Intimidate, can taunt, can stealth rock, can do protect toxic. I've used very many Crocodile sets to beat like certain Pokemon, and I love the Intimidate, especially with Klefki plus Zeraora. So it's a nice offensive pick and can be defensive too.
It's a mon I would have gotten if Mamoswine had left because, in my opinion, like some of the top ground types I think are like Drill, Mamo, Crocodile.
It's like hard, and then like
lower, and stuff.
And then you look lower tier, you get like Golurk and Rhydon and stuff like that.
Yeah, I always wanted a higher tier ground though because I think they're more reliable in what they can do.
That's fair. We have Arcanine from Auto, and Auto has this nice teleport U-turn combination to Aegislash. Also, again, one of the better Aegislash switch-ins, whether it be specially defensive or physically defensive with Flash, with Intimidate. We do have some nice support. He does have some nice support from that in general. Has a nice rock resistant Aegislash too. And I love Arcanine. Like
in my opinion, Arcanine should have been a tier higher. Like that's a great mon for the value that it's at.
Yeah, you had it. I mean, it was a tier higher technically, you know.
Yeah,
but
it was one of the kill leaders on my team.
Easily, yeah. I remember it doing a lot. Even like in a Dynamax metagame, that says a lot.
Yeah.
We have Skarmory. Oof, Skarmory with Terrakion. So I like Skarm a lot this generation. I think people sleep on it just because it's UU, but obviously Spikes is big, but it also gets Iron Defense, Body Press. So that combination is very, very hard to switch into, even when you resist. Like at that point, you got to be like Toxapex or Slowbro or something to be a bulky water, take it on. Otherwise, this mon is doing some massive damage to you, providing Whirlwind, another Defogger. He has a nice fire resist with Terrakion, so I love this, Steel Fairy
It's
core.
such a great support mon, and if you think about it, like Corviknight was tier 1, Skarmory being tier 3, and it's not like, of
Such
course,
value,
Corviknight does have a little edge over it, but that's a big jump for where Skarmory is at.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that it's a great pick.
It's a great value pick. Oof, speaking of fantastic ones, I think that Rotom Heat would have been better for his team, but he wasn't able to get it, obviously.
This is still great.
Yeah, Rotom Wash is great, too. You can talk about it.
Yeah, Rotom Wash, I like it. It personally one of my more favorite Rotoms to use, just because I really like the kind of water electric coverage it gets. Levitate is really nice. Volt Switch Momentum with like Corviknight U-turn to bring in Conkeldurr is cool. Gives him another Defogger, so he's got 3 Defoggers on his team, by the way. And access to Nasty Plot
Man's on his way.
makes it such a threat. Yeah. So you can run a lot of different items on it too to make it different each week. But in general, I do like this Pokemon a lot.
No, I agree. I think Rotom is good, and this Nasty Plot, Trick, and things like that. Offensively, it's great. Again, like I think Rotom Heat would have been so good with Corviknight, but again, you're getting rid of one of your Corviknight answers, and something that's just annoying, and it also helps you out versus like breakers like random Azumarill, which could be very scary versus this type of team right now. But Rotom obviously helps with that. We have Milotic, and I am a big fan of this Pokemon too, and I love the core he has. He's building a UU team right here, but it's a very strong UU team. Milotic is really nice. Toxic, obviously, recover, bulky water. Can also take advantage of like teams with Intimidate and use like competitive and throw off some strong hits with Hydro Pump and Ice Beam respectively. I think it just gives him some nice defensive backbone that he was lacking.
And some Dragon Dance sets, bro. We got the Dragon Dance.
Yeah,
triple
I have
axe.
used Dragon Dance triple axe with Blunder, and it was absolute trash. Keep that in mind. Ooh, I'm loving this Uzi draft right now. What do you think about this Tangrowth pick?
I like Tangrowth. Personally, I'm not as big a fan of it this gen as I was previous gens, just because of the lack of hidden power and things that it could do. But it's still great. You can run really defensive sets in AV. Tangrowth is nice. Regen, I think, is just so good for his team because it provides a really good pivot for Hydreigon, Rotom, and being able to give himself a safe switch into those kinds of mons is cool.
Yep, and it gives him a nice little extra drill answer too, which is something that a Mold Breaker Earthquake could have been scary. So I like that, keeping me in mind. Uzi, I see you. We have Politoed, and there we go. We see, I think it's always scary to draft like a bunch of Pokemon. Like I remember last year with Duncan, I was debating drafting G-Max Dreadnought just so Duncan couldn't get it because he obviously had like a whole thing. I wouldn't have minded, but we see Politoed with Kingdra. Not much to say there. Again, you could not get Kingdra plus Pelipper because they're both tier 2. So Politoed is a great pick. I mean, it could do other things, I guess.
It's a little bit more versatile than Pelipper, in my opinion, because it can run some different sets that you may not expect.
But in terms of supporting its water type, I think Pelipper is better.
Pelipper, yeah, definitely. I mean, I had Pelipper Kingdra for a season, and it was just so like powerful of a combination. I also had Kabutops on that team too.
Yeah, Kabutops is a good Pokemon. That's a fantastic Pokemon. We do see Seismitoad from Moa, and I like that. He covered his electric immunity
and
right there.
Weakness.
And rock weakness, exactly. Gave him rocks. Seismitoad is a good Pokemon. Gives him an option versus Rain as well. Gives him his own Rain if he wants. He can run Rain Dance 3 attacks, similar to like Ludicolo, with the physical or special. 3 great abilities on this Pokemon, or 2. Or 3. 3 good abilities, because Poison Touch is a good ability too. Knock off as well. And we know, there's no Dracovish in this. We banned Dracovish because we were like, forget that. Forget that. You get a kill leader with something, you get it out of there. But
Oh yeah, I forgot it was a ground type. Chinese Hydrant is one of the greatest ground types of all time.
defensively, I think it's okay offensively.
Only with the Chinese EV spread.
Hopefully Moet knows what he's doing with this thing then.
He definitely knows what he's doing. He watches my videos, I'm sure.
So tier 3 Barraskewda, I actually really like. I think Barraskewda, giving him a high speed tier for one, and forcing, like, for example, from you, like a jolly or a timid or jolly Dragapult, I think is pretty big. Whereas he can get away with Adamant. It getting flip turn now is amazing too, and it'd be really funny to see when he fights like Rain, how his opponent,
exactly,
how his opponent can play around, because just using flip turn and getting in Como and Reinkless, and just like the idea behind, let's say your opponent has Toxapex or something, flip turn plus Future Sight, like Toxapex comes out and you just bop it. I really
Future
like
Sight's gonna be so much fun to watch, like especially with Barraskewda and Como O. Barraskewda being a glass cannon, forcing out things, and Como O just having that nice
surprise
setup,
factor
which
too,
is forcing things out, and Pokemon will take a Future Sight. That's gonna be it's really nice
big,
combination.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. So we see. Oh, this is me. I was like, oh,
That's you.
Sylveon. Yeah. So I got
we see pokeaimMD.
I got Sylveon.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Sylveon. It's a good tier 3 fairy. I wanted a fairy type, wish support, obviously, defensive backbone, and a Conkeldurr, like, because I have like defensive Conkeldurr axes, and now I have like an offensive one. Because I mean, Conk is a problem for me, regardless. I never use Sylveon in draft, and it gets Mystical Fire now, and I want to try it out. And that's it. It gets soft baton pass too.
It's a good fairy type. I like it, and it's not like it's kind of like Clefable. It's like the next best thing, I feel.
Well, in terms of wish passing, yeah.
Exactly. In terms of the roles Clefable plays, of course, all besides Stealth Rocks, but it supports your team really well. And like if Slowbro gets like status or something like by Toxic, you have Heal Bell.
Exactly. Oof, dude, it's just like visually just keeps adding Pokemon that are hard to switch into. It's Primarina, man.
Dude, I love Primarina this gen. Can I talk about Primarina?
Go ahead.
All right, let me talk about Primarina. So, Primarina, I've been using it quite a bit on my teams that have like Rillaboom and OU. Calm Mind, Sub-Calm Mind is so scary. Scald with Scald Moonblast, and even Draining Kiss as well. And plus, you don't even have to run that. You can run things like Choice Specs. You could run with Flip Turn too.
Assault Vest Flip Turn too.
AV Primarina as well, exactly. And you can run Perish Trap as well. So if there's like maybe a Pokemon that you need to get rid of for your team that can help Jirachi Alakazam, you can trap it and get rid of it.
Yeah,
and it breaks down the dark types really well that those Pokemon hate.
And like I said, they're just Pokemon that are so hard to switch into, man. Like Life Orb Zam, Specs this. Like, show me your switch-ins, man. Show me your switch-ins. These are just extremely scary Pokemon, so I'm loving that. I like Flygon, okay? When I drafted it, I enjoyed Flygon. I do think that Scorching Sand is really cool when it comes to like support, if it wants to try and be like a support mon. U-turn, obviously, you get that nice Volt Turn combination there with dual screens plus Dragon Dance is always an option as well if he wants to try that out. Any last thoughts on Flygon? Also ground immunity. I think it's obviously weak when it comes to offensive presence, just because base 100 isn't the strongest this generation.
I think in the level 50 format it'll be really deceptive, because I've been running like I've ran a Dragon Dance Life Orb Scale Shot Flygon with Adamant Nature, and it's actually very, very threatening. Like you get an immediate +2 speed boost basically after you use Dragon Dance and Scale Shot, and then you have Life Orb, Earthquake, and like other cover.
I guess in that case, being a pain to knock out is going to be really nice too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that pick a lot.
Dual screens is pretty cool though. I like that a lot with dual screens.
Yeah.
And we see Snorlax. So my boy Fanatax is getting probably one of the better Kyurem switch-ins as well, besides Clefable. Snorlax is good. Like, period. It's always good. It gets Heat Crash now, which is huge for it, so it can actually allow it to, it's way better than Fire Punch, beating Pokemon like Ferrothorn and Corviknight way more reliably. Obviously, they nerf the Super Citrus Berries, so that way it can't, like, get it always from 50, it needs to be like a 33% or something. Like, the recovery isn't big and everything, too, and they also nerf when it happens, if I'm not mistaken. It was one of those. Whatever. I
was thinking about getting it because I wanted some thick fat for my team with because I have Dragapult, Togekiss, and stuff. But then I saw Mammoth and I'm like, yeah.
No, I mean like it's better offensively, but I think Lax is crazy too. No Pursuit, really which is pretty big. Pursuit would actually been amazing for him because like look at look at Dragapult and look at his team, and then look at Snorlax pursuing Dragapult. Like that would have been fire, but
It would have been, yeah.
no pursuit this gen. But it's also something that can abuse Trick Room from Hatterene as well if he wants to use like Curse, Belly Drum, or Choice Band. So good pick. And we see Gardevoir from Nexus, and that is rounding out round 3. And I've used this. Chimpact used it. It's good. It's a weather. It's an anti-weather Pokemon. It provides healing with support. Gets Mystical Fire. It is a good Pokemon. Period.
The reason I really like it on his team is because firstly he can beat other weather teams because of Trace Gardevoir. He can run a Choice Scarf, and like faster mons that would otherwise pose a threat to Keldeo and Weavile will be severely threatened by Gardevoir. It's a really powerful Pokemon, and yeah, I think Trace is such a fun ability to use on this thing.
Yeah, even like tracing Prankster. I remember you and I fought, and my Gardevoir was able to end up being a sub.
Yeah, that was annoying.
That was very good. It was very good. But yeah, it's a beautiful Pokemon. Let's see what Nexus gets starting in round 4. Steelix. Now, if you didn't know, Steelix gets Dragon Dance now.
It does.
And it's really slow, but look, it's bulky. It can Iron Defense, Body Press. It's a good Steel type. It's a good Stealth Rocker. That's it. And this is a tier 5, by the way. So Nexus went all the way down to tier 5. Because I guess, not that steals were getting limited, but defensive steals are also not as common right now, I would say. They're not like...
Steelix in tier 5 is just a taste, just a little taste of what there is to find in this tier. There are so many great mons.
There are some fantastic mons, exactly. There are just some fantastic mons. And I mean, I guess if you didn't want to get like Bronzong or something too, Steelix is just... It's good. It's good. It's good at clicking Stealth Rock, and that's what it does. Yeah. We have Cofagrigus from Feint Attacks, and that is a nice Trick Room setter, nice Body Press user, Will-O-Wisp. A better fighting resist that like doesn't care about U-turn, which is something like Hatterene is obviously neutral to U-turn, but it doesn't want to take fighting type attack plus a U-turn or anything coming out from like Mian Chao. Though at the same time, I guess Cofagrigus doesn't like knock off either, but it just supports the team, gives it T-Spike too, which is pretty cool. Anything else to add?
Yeah, I really like T-Spike on this team a lot because it makes...
He gets pressured, dude.
Pokemon... it makes Pokemon like Hatterene and Snorlax and stuff even more dangerous because they're difficult mons to knock out, and if you have T-Spikes up, you're basically on a timer trying to get rid of those Pokemon, and then Kyurem can like sub-roost too.
Exactly.
So, like, it's going to be, I think, great for his team. It kind of makes sense, like Kovac, Snorlax, Hatterene, like it just fits together.
And it gives him later like a spin control, which
spin
is
blocker,
really nice
yeah.
Too. Vikavolt. So we're seeing a lot of the lower tier picks from Callum over here. I love Vikavolt. I think Sticky Web is really cool, especially when it comes to dual screens and what he has. Just dealing with the not that his team was slow because Cobalion and Flygon are fine when it comes to this metagame, I guess. But Sticky Web helps with that. Vikavolt can just agility, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Bug Buzz. Really hard to switch into. Very, very. It's a nuke, and it can also take advantage of the heavy duty boots and run like physically defensive sets too for fighting types.
Yeah, exactly. And I can see a lot of momentum on his team now with like Volt Switch, U-turn, Volt Switch. Screens is nice there. It can make Vikavolt even bulkier. That's a bulky mon. Like you can with heavy duty boots and not taking any rocks damage. Like that thing is difficult to knock out.
Yeah, it's very physically defensive. So that's a good mon. Yo, dude, like he just keeps picking Pokemon that are just breakers. You can't switch into. When I remember I was talking about top 5 offensive ground types, Diggersby's
another one.
Diggersby's up there. That's it. It's like Extra Mammo, Crook, Diggersby, and there's one more. I think it might have been Seismitoad that I was thinking about too.
Seismitoad, yeah.
There's probably a few we're missing, but it doesn't matter. But this is a mon, gives him Spike, give him U-turn, double U-turn plus flip turn into giant Pokemon. I hope I avoid visually in my schedule just because my team is more of a balanced team and it does not like the breaking of offense
I'm just thinking about that, like your team right now, as just looking at it at a first glance, and his like offensive mons. You gotta really give everything into that slow bro, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, Excadrill looks really good too, but
true.
Even then, it's still very scary. Just his team is just very, 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 very scary. But this is why Excadrill looks good because I picked up Gigalith right now. Obviously, I wasn't gonna go for Hippo. I think Hippo was tier 2. Hippo was tier 2, and I got Slowbro. Hippo might have been tier 3, but I think it was tier 2. Gigalith, it sets up sand for Excadrill, and it's going to let my Excadrill put in work, like every week, regardless of what it is. And Gigalith is also a really good special wall just because of that Sandstorm Spadef boost, and that's good stats. Toxic Protect Set, Stealth Rock, Rock Blast, Explosion.
I feel like your team's gonna be so annoying to take down because of Sylveon wishing up Gigalith and Slowbro and stuff.
Oh, that
And
mine's gonna
then
eat.
like it's just gonna be really.
I'm gonna take down your
solid for
timer.
you.
That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna take down your timer. I'm gonna win these games. But Gigalith is able to do that. I love Gigalith, man. I do. Oh, dude, I really like Magnitude's team. I do. Like,
Yeah.
I love the Ferrothorn pick. When it comes to like stuff that Barraskewda doesn't want to take hits from, Ferrothorn and Reuniclus and Como all sponge the hits. Ferrothorn gives him spikes and another Stealth Rocker. Knockoff, Leech Seed plus Reuniclus is nasty. Thunder Wave plus Como is really nasty too. I'm actually really liking Steve's pick. Like, from somebody who picked, round 1 Reuniclus and into Como, into Barraskewda, Weatherless. I love how it's going. It looks like a Gator type of draft, like Pokemon that are maybe like,
Yeah.
they're not necessarily out there, but they're like Pokemon that you might not always see together. And I love this.
It's a pretty annoying core to take down. If you think about like Regen and Reuniclus plus Pharaoh, and then you have Como O there taking hits.
And freaking Barraskewda flip turning because that's one of the best, if not the best flip turner.
Yeah.
Like physical, that's the best physical flip turner. Period. Like that mon just goes. If Carlin got a Gyarados, they'd be up there too. But no, that boy just.
It's nice, like the spike stacking potential too. With plus Barraskewda, it's gonna be really, really threatening.
Yeah,
Like,
it is. It is. My boy Moet drafted Venusaur. What'd you think about Venusaur?
I like Venusaur as a Pokemon. I don't know how it's gonna do without Sun, but I'm
Gets
hoping
Earth
to
Power.
see some manual Sun setup.
Gets Earth Power now too.
It does get Earth Power, yeah. It could be cool defensively too. Like it could run like a Leech Seed set, a bulkier Venusaur set. But you got the Fire Water Grass core. You already know Wakanda forever.
He absorbs T-Spikes with it too, so it's a good pick. And then we see Tyranitar. So my boy, that's a +1, turning it all the way around. You already saw the dual. We already saw the rain. Now we see the dual weather. I think Tyranitar is still a good Pokemon. I think Bandit is very hard to switch into. And it's not like everybody can run Hippowdon or everybody can run, what is another just guaranteed switch in to like this Pokemon. They're
Hippopotas.
okay. Thank you. Not like everybody can run this. So Tyranitar is interesting. And there still are a few Pokemon left that it can still abuse Sandrush too if he wants to use that, or even Sand Force, like a Alolan Dugtrio, Sand Slash, Stoutland. So there are still a few Pokemon that can abuse this. Interesting tier 1. Does give him Stealth Rock too, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
This mon is something that I was thinking about drafting. This mon is good. This mon is good. This mon is hard to revenge kill. If your name isn't Skarmory, and even if you have Skarmory, you have Sleep Powder Tangrowth, you have Rotom Heat, you have Hydreigon to threaten it. The thing that makes this mon scary is the fact that it's boosting its speed. So you can't use normal ways of revenge killing offensive Pokemon like Choice Scarfers because Scolipede can do that. Now, again, it cannot Baton Pass, so that does kill some of its viability in that aspect. But offensive, even just Protect 3 attacks can late game win with speed.
Yeah,
boost.
exactly. And in terms of Pokemon that are good, that have like a very solid speed tier, this is one of those types of Pokemon, I feel.
Easily.
And it works really well with his team, in the sense that he has Volturn momentum into Scolipede, and Scolipede can, of course, also set up T-Spikes and stuff and be a utility mon as well.
Yep.
In that way, it's also really diverse, I feel.
Scary Pokemon for sure. Incineroar, that's a Pokemon that I've used in draft a few times, and it's lovely. It has Parting Shot, U-Turn, Knockoff, Taunt. It's good. It's good. He has that.
I think it even gets Burning Jealousy as well, which is really exciting as a set. You can run Nasty Plot, Burning Jealousy, I think.
Yeah, you could also run Flamethrower and
And Scorching Sands. You can run Nasty Plot, Burning Jealousy, Scorching Sands, and Dark Pulse.
Wow, as amazing as a set that comes off of, I'm going to think that he's probably going to be running either defensive. I've always found myself running defensive. Heavy Duty Boots make this Pokemon amazing. Period. It's so annoying. And if he can get some Wish support on his team, my Loaded Plus Incineroar is just a good core. Period.
Yeah. Do not set up in front of Burning Jealousy, by the way, because it will burn you.
Yep, there you go. You've helped him out. Amoonguss. Ooh, so we've seen Aaron do something similar, but look at the VGC picks in a row. You got Conk, Rotom Wash, Amoonguss. I love it. Amoonguss is one of my favorite Pokemon from this generation. With Regen, it is stupid good. It is stupid good. And defensively, he covers its answers extremely well. Extremely well. Rotom Wash and Corviknight. I love the Poison Absorber. And it's his first Pokemon that cannot defog, but it still manages to get rid of hazards like the others.
I really like Amoonguss a lot. This gen is so great versus, common mons you see, like threats such as Zero Aura. And being like a really good fighting sponge, a T-Spike absorber, Pokemon that can click Spore. I just remember there is Sleep Class who do not click Spore versus me multiple times.
Yeah, James,
Um,
make sure you remember that, buddy.
it's not VGC. There is a Sleep Clause here, so just don't be clicking Spore.
Thoughts on Gastrodon?
Gastrodon. Tier 4. Okay, so we can start to see sort of some of these cores forming here. Gastrodon's great, provides him with an electric immunity. I feel is really good because, unlike Seismitoad, it doesn't get rocks, but it does get good recovery. It can run a plethora of great coverage moves with recovery while also being able to run setup such as Curse and Stockpile and just be toxicing and annoying and water immunity and electric immunity.
And because there's no hidden
like
powers, you don't have to run Rindo Berry every week.
It's better, yeah. It is better because exactly like you said, there are no hidden powers. People can't just whip out HP Grass, but a lot of mons do get some grass coverage, which you got to watch out for. I did draft it before, so
and I drafted in the APA. Good Pokemon.
You did.
Period. It always came. It always did shop. Speaking of good mons, again, we still got that Volt teleport combination with U-turn going on. Rotom Mo, giving him a nice grass type as well to match his fire type. Nasty Plot, Thunder Wave, Discharge, Will-O-Wisp, support, ground immunity as well. That's also not Mandibuzz. I think all the Rotom forms are like just value picks. Like
yeah,
no matter
they
what.
are. At this point in the draft, I think half the Rotom forms are gone. So we got Rotom Heat out of the way, Rotom Wash, and Rotom Moat. We still have 3 Rotom forms left. Kind of curious to
see if they get picked up.
Mm-hmm.
Lucario, my boy Chimpback drafting dual screens UU setup. I love it. Lucario is such a great offensive Pokemon. Obviously, great forms of priority in Extreme Speed, Bullet Punch, and Vacuum Wave. Offensively, Close Combat, Meteor Mash, Crunch, Earthquake as well for like Age Slash. Nasty Plot on the special side. Good speed tier, strong Pokemon. Period.
In the very first draft league that I played in, which was not uploaded to YouTube, I won that one with Lucario.
Yeah?
That's a fun fact. Yeah, I did. I had like Talonflame Lucario for Alligator and stuff.
Nice. Big Luke.
I won that league.
Well, this one's a shout out to you then. Speaking of you, Obstagoon. Emvee just keeps drafting Pokemon that are very hard to switch into. What are your thoughts on this?
See, I'm trying to pick Pokemon that are tough to prep, and I really wanted to try Obstagoon because some people also recommended it to me as well to try Obstagoon out. Because I've been tweeting and like I've been asking people to give me suggestions and stuff, even though I already drafted. But Obstagoon is so nice, dude. Like I feel like as a Pokemon that can, be immune to Ghost and Dark, it can be very great with Dragapult. You turning into it and wall breaking things by clicking buttons. And it has really solid coverage overall. It also has some pretty good bulk, as a matter of fact.
It's really bulky.
Yeah, and plus I have the 2 like biggest fighting, or one of the best fighting resists in Dragapult, immunity in Dragapult and Togekiss. So I figured the team could really support it well.
Yeah, as a good speed tier as well. There's only a few ghosts that are still faster than this Pokemon.
Exactly, yeah, and it can do a lot of different things. I feel.
Yep.
What did I miss with Obstagoon?
You said Parting Shot? You said Parting Shot? You said Parting Shot?
Yeah, oh yeah, Parting Shot, dude. Yeah, I got momentum with Parting Shot.
You also have Defiant. You have Defiant as an ability and Reckless, so you don't have to use Guts. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. This Pokemon is pretty cool.
Yeah.
What else do you want to talk about Obstagoon?
And now we're ending round 4 with Xatu. Thoughts on the final pick in Xatu?
Yeah, okay, so I've used Xatu before.
I like it last season.
Magic Bounce is such a fun ability. Like, honestly, with only a few Pokemon getting it, like Hatterene, Espeon, I think Xatu, being a flying type Pokemon that can bounce back hazards, it gives him a nice Volt turn with Magnezone. I do like the fact that you don't have to click default, you just bring it in. It has Calm Mind, pretty good speed tier as well, and some nice coverage. Just don't get crit. Don't get crit.
It can Baton Pass as well, but it can also teleport, which is pretty cool. It can so it can get that momentum too, and set up dual screens, and being that ground immunity is really nice when you have Magnezone. So that is the end of round 4. Let's hopefully get into round 5. So we are starting off round 5 with a Alolan Marowak from Fruitberry, and as you guys can see, he has Trick Room from Xatu, but Alolan Marowak gives him an electric immunity because of Lightning Rod, and we already know this thing got Poltergeist this generation. It's strong. It's like in terms of wall breaking, like look at his team, man. He has analytic specs Magnezone. He has Hackster, single run choice, man. He has a Alolan Marowak too, so I love it. A little bit slow for his team as well, but gives him a spin blocker, though he only has one form of hazards, which is Clefable. Though technically you could say that the Xatu is a form of hazards, depending on how you outplay an opponent. And I love the wall breaking capabilities of this Pokemon for his team. Just
Yeah. Taking off Marowak from the board is great for Magnezone too, which
yes,
doesn't have to deal with that Pokemon.
Exactly. So I can't Vultures. Good call, good call. And there's a Bronzong you were waiting for. What do you think?
Yep. I like Bronzong. I haven't really used it in draft.
I have.
I've used it, I think, on that Ubers League that I did a long time back, but I didn't use it in singles. But I think it's cool because firstly, I think it's one of the better steel types still available, and it also helps a lot versus Kyurem. It gives me a Levitate Pokemon, and Stealth Rocks, and a bunch of great coverage, and some setup opportunities as well. You might see me run Meteor Beam, who knows?
What about Trick Specs Steel Beam like Moet?
I could I could do that too. And not to mention I got Trick Room potential with it, and it's a great Pokemon that can help me deal with like fairy types, because I needed a Pokemon that can sponge fairy types, and Bronzong does that very, very well in terms of dealing with a lot of fairy types. And it's useful because you can run Levitate, you can run Heat Proof, you can run, what is the other one, Heavy Metal?
Yeah.
I can do that with Heavy Slam, maybe?
You have Obstagoon plus Bronzong with Heavy Metal, so they work really, really well together just because of how Obstagoon actually,
Obstagoon plays the music, and then Bronzong plays the music.
Is the bell.
Is the bell.
So, going forward, Quillfish, this is a good Pokemon. Let me tell you something, man. This is one of the most undervalued spikers. Like, this monster can go. Not only does it give you a Swift Swim Abuser, an Intimidate user, a Poison point beer, but it can Sub, it can Toxic, it can Pain Split, it can Thunder Wave, it can Taunt, it can Swords Dance, it can Destiny Bond, it eats hits, it Pain Splits up. And like when you see like he has like really frail, like they're not like your like, you know, when you think of defensive steel types or defensive spikers, you think of maybe Ferrothorn and Skarmory, right? He has Klefki and Quillfish, which are like not as defensive, but they can still take hits. So he has like that. He's really running that like bulky offense type of build, like, or straight up offense type of build, and I love it. I love it for his team. He can even run like Focus Sash, Spikes, Taunt, Explosion. I like Quillfish a lot.
Yeah, it works really well with his team, which is more like sort of frail setup kind of thing, and it's good. It's good for him, I feel.
Yep. Ooh, thoughts on Starmie?
Starmie's cool. It gets flip turn now. It has Meteor Beam.
Look at his team. It's all flipping.
I think it's really solid synergy wise with this team, and it can do so much offensively and even defensively with like. Does it get Reflect type? Is Reflect type in this gen still?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so then it can do that. You know, you can run a whole bunch of stuff, and for the speed tier, it gives him a great speed tier as well. And Rapid Spin is just nice. It can be a difficult mod to deal with.
Yeah, for sure. And like you mentioned, Meteor Beam with Power Herb, giving it special attack raise could be very, very scary.
Pretty sure Chimpact actually really wanted that though.
Yeah, he did. Goodra. Whew. This mon is good, dude. Specs, offensive, great. Gives him a grass immunity for Gastrodon.
Chinese Goodra with AV power, and it has Power Whip, Rock Slide, Fire Punch, and Earthquake.
Yes, I mean they'll probably run that versus Moet because it deals with Volcarona on their team.
True.
But like, I mean, Goodra in general, just good offensive options. Can be annoying too, just really annoying to take down because it's really, really bulky on the special side, and very, very strong on the offensive side too. So I love that pick.
Yeah.
Umbreon, ooh, the wish support for the Amoonguss, Rotom, Conkeldurr, and Corviknight. Thoughts on that?
I'm a big fan of Umbreon. I've used it a lot on some of my OU teams. It's really good. I don't know how good it is going to be in draft, but it's like solid for what it does. It's one of my favorite wish Pokemon.
It can still wish Baton Pass because that's not considered like it's still considered dry passing. Yeah.
Exactly. And like the thing I really like about Umbreon is that it's a pure dark type. So it sponges a lot more hits than you'd think, and it's so good at like you can run it physically defensive, especially defensive, and deal with so many different mons that just hit neutrally, and Foul Play just does so much work with it, and you can really, I guess, support this team well because something like Conkeldurr, which gets chipped down, can be healed up. Something like Rotom, even if you don't run Pain Split or Amoonguss, it's just so great for that team.
Yeah, and just providing heal ball support. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
This is another good value Pokemon, and we had Silvally tiered all the way up there at tier 2. I think the main reason is because they made, you might be like, what the hell? Well, we saw Chimpact sweep every week of it with it in the APA. So we said, yeah, we're not going to give somebody like, what is it, 17, 18 different types of a Pokemon that has 120 base power, stab move, that can U-turn and parting shot and do all this stuff. Forget that. We're going to make somebody have to really pick a value pick. And I love this Pokemon. It gives them hazard control, which is really nice. It gives them another offensive option. And, you know, completing the U-turn plus parting shot combination of Incineroar, Emvee, and Shell. So Volley is such a good value. Like, not even value. In this one, it's usually like tier 3, tier 4. I think it should be tier 2, tier 3, period. Just because it's good. It's way too good now. Especially with the with everything going on. What do you think about Caporaja?
That's a cool steel type. If I hadn't picked up Mamoswine, I probably would have gotten that. But they both generally do similar things in the sense that you run some good coverage, you just hit Pokemon with it and knock out things. It's also a stealth rocker too, so that's great. I guess it could be bulky if you're running like AV and stuff, but generally you'd see this thing just powered through Pokemon.
It has perfect coverage. Like it covers everything, like literally everything. Like it's so good. And its abilities are pretty good too.
Yeah, and it works well on his team too because he has sort of a good like backbone to his team with Rotom, Tangrowth, Hydreigon, and stuff. And then having Caporaja there is pretty nice.
It looks cool. I love this Pokemon. Like it's a pain to switch into.
The shiny form is like it's been in electric terrain for so long that it has adapted.
Yeah, it's adapted. Ooh, Phalanx is a tier 5 Pokemon. Now, guys, remember, again, our tier 5s are interesting. I mean, I think Phalanx was always tier 5 for us. And, like, even after Vivid used it, I think it still stayed tier 5 just because it wasn't
just because of the number of Pokemon, or I guess the types of Pokemon that are in this tier now, I think. It makes sense, but I don't know. I feel like it's just too early to pick up Phalanx. But I guess there's only, like, what, tier 4s and 5s left, so it's pretty good.
It may have been, like, just to, let me look at the transactions real quick. Oh, this was actually a swap.
Okay.
He had Rotom Fan initially, and he swapped it for Phalanx. And I can understand wanting a Rotom form, especially Rotom Fan, because it would give him a Thunder with his Rain and Volt Switch and whatnot. But he opted for Phalanx. Maybe it was an option to like break through Pokemon like Ferrothorn, for instance.
You could kind of do that with T-Tar in a sense, though.
That's true. I still do like, no retreat and whatnot. And maybe we'll see him actually use it to an advantage, because when you have Flip Turn, Kingdra and Bandit Tar breaking, maybe Phalanx might actually be able to do something for him.
Yeah.
Galvantula, thoughts on Moets?
Mr. Moet, picking up Galvantula here. Okay, let's talk about this Pokemon. Look, listen, Sticky Web is great. First of all, it benefits Gyarados and Volcarona tremendously. Or you could run Galvantula offensively, which is great too, because you got that nice Volt Switch momentum into these kinds of Pokemon. And Galvantula is kind of an annoying mon because it has that speed tier that's like a little bit faster than the Musketeers. Yep. So there's a lot it can do, and it can also just T-Wave spam, allowing like Volcarona or something to set up a lot better. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting pick overall. This kind of looks like a Moet team,
Yeah, this is another heavy duty boots mon. That's a big thing for Galvantula. It's good speed tier, and being able to use heavy duty boots and just coming in and out. A lot of like frailer Pokemon that can eat hits depend on rocks to knock out Galvantula, I would say. So yeah,
I think it speed ties the Musketeers, or maybe it's 1 point faster. I forgot.
It's 346.
Yeah.
So it does speed tie, but yeah, good mon overall for Moet. And Drapion, and this is I love this dark type. I love the T-Spike on it. It can't be crit because of battle armor, has taunt, knockoff, poison jab. This is a mon that probably be busted as well if Dynamax was around too, but just because of its overall very, very, very versatile physical move set. But I love the Drapion for it. That's also a really good Reuniclus answer, and his team is really good at just breaking the dark types that scare Reuniclus. Like all of his mons can hit them for strong damage or super effective. Like just in general, like Barraskewda has close combat, obviously. Ferrothorn has body price, and Como has all of its fighting stab as well. So I like the
Reuniclus Drapion is so good together. The T-Spikes, right? Think about it. You have Reuniclus, and then you're breaking down things over time, like dark types that try to switch in, and you just keep clicking recover, or you have that one Iron Defense calm mindset, dude. Like
I know. Like it's just so nasty. Or Acid Armor, calm mind, whatever you want to run. It's just so nasty for it. And then having T-Spike up for it is great.
I want to see some acupressure set with that, dude.
Every single time I go after Mag, I forget. I was like, yo, this is a good Pokemon. I forget it's mine. I love Roserade, okay? I used it in the P4G when I had an absolutely broken draft. It was a lower tier draft. And I had like Zygarde and 10% and like this and like Incineroar and Silent. My draft was fire. But I love Roserade, grounded poison type. It is a grounded poison type. I'm going to stress what I'm saying. It's touching the ground as a poison type. People think I say ground poison, like I'm talking about.
It's on its tiptoes though.
That's it. You're right, but it's still touching it. Don't worry. It gets spikes and T-spike. It's a good answer to water types. Period. It gives me a nice little defensive resist, just like Slowbro wise, and I can also weather ball with sand, so that could be pretty cool. Hidden Power Rock weather balls could be pretty cool. So
it's a great Pokemon. Very, very good team.
Strong.
So far.
Thank you. I'm building a balanced team because I think that's what works best in draft. But I'm also very scared about every offensive squad. Rotom Fan, what you think? So he swapped this. I believe he drafted Rotom, and he drafted it for Rotom Fan.
Another Rotom has been picked up. Rotom Fan I like because heavy duty boots is a thing, first of all. Second of all, it is a Rotom that is actually off the ground, right? This is not just levitate, but it is a flying type. And paired with an air balloon, you'll be able to completely avoid ground type hits and be immune. Have that immunity and actually show that you have that immunity.
Exactly.
And it has the full switch.
Exactly. And Will-O-Wisp and heavy duty boots as well, like you mentioned. Good mod for momentum as well. We have Tentacruel. Ooh, you can take out Tentacruel as well. It's really looking UU, right? Like Hoodlum Callum.
Tentacruel was something that I was looking for getting for myself. I really like Tentacruel a lot because it has really good coverage options. And it is a grounded poison, so it is touching the ground. It has T-spikes as well, and it has rapid spin, which is really unique for a Pokemon. With this low tier, I think it's really good because I just wish it got like strength sap though. Like,
yeah,
don't you?
Dude, I do wish it got strength.
I really wish it got strength sap.
It would have been so. Maybe it will, like, as we go forward. But the rapid spin buff is pretty cool, and giving T-spikes with like defensive Lyca Bolt or. And I wonder what role hazards are going to play in this form of draft, just because we have heavy duty boots now, so it's going to be really interesting. But having that grounded poison type strong for him. Talonflame. I mean, when you have Hatterene to block back the hazards, I love the speed tier Talonflame gives him. He was going relatively slow. Obviously, Kyurem was his fastest Pokemon, but then he had a bunch of slow mons, and then he just shoots all the way up with a Talonflame. And Talonflame with the heavy duty boots can be a defogger for his team, can Will-O-Wisp, can U-turn, can also abuse Flame Body as well, and can be an offensive threat too. I actually think Talonflame's still good with like bulk up taunt as well. With Toxic Spike, I think that's a pretty cool combination that he has.
I agree.
His team is annoying. I think I find him week 1.
Your Mold Breaker drill will have fun though.
We'll see. I find him week 1, and he has a lot of good Pokemon, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, shoot.
This is a mon that I've drafted. I think, did you draft this too?
I have drafted this before, yes.
It's really good. It is really
Dude, Corrosion is such a crazy ability. Like, you literally just sub. I remember beating like people week after week with sub toxic.
It's good.
Corrosion.
It's good. Like even on offensive sets, like if you were like Nasty Plot, you were like Overheat Sludge Wave. Forget Dragon Pulse or whatever.
That's
just
not bad
toxic.
either. But like, just the toxic corrosion sets that this thing can do, it just triumphs above like all other sets in my opinion.
And Nexus's team is really just covering all them speed tiers. Like Weavile directly into Salazzle is like saying, "Hey, Barraskewda, you got to run Jolly."
Oh yeah,
not
for sure,
Adamant.
dude. Like, I'd be scared if someone clicks Trick Room though.
Yeah, he does have the looks though. He does have the looks, so
yeah,
watch out. But that rounds up, I believe, round 5. So let's see what Nexus goes with the next one. And there's Druddigon. Now, I really love Druddigon. I wanted to use it. It gets Hone Claws plus Scale Shot, which is pretty cool. Obviously, a great Stealth Rocket with Mold Breaker, so it doesn't care about Magic Bounce that someone like Fruit Berries, for instance, does have. Sheer Force is really strong with Gunk Shot and Fire Punch. And it's just a good mon with Glare, too, for speed.
Yeah, one of my favorite leads on like a hyper-offensive team is like the Glare Druddigon set with Rocks.
And it works with his, too. It works with his.
It does work with his team, yes. And like with Rough Skin too, it's really nice.
What do you think about this Lycanroc, bro? Tell me about. I actually suggested this pick to him. I regret it though.
Dude, Lycanroc is nice. It's with Tough Claws, right? It gets close combat now, which is extremely strong.
And Psychic Fangs.
The priority of Celerock is great too, so that now his team doesn't really have to deal with this mon at all, especially for Talonflame and Kyurem. Taking that off the board is pretty smart.
Yeah.
It is a rocker as well, so it gives him some Stealth Rock.
Dude, it was good. It was good before it got close combat. Like I remember seeing Dan smack with this thing every week in like
Yeah.
old draft leagues, and you know it's funny because in like 1.5 rounds or 2 rounds, whatever, like no 2 rounds, yeah, Fanatax went from like the slowest team to covering Talonflame and Lycan Rock Dust. So
Yeah.
his team is just like he's giving the speed all around. I love this mon, and in terms of hard switch-ins, it's a tough one. Serena getting a nice another rapid spinner. Thoughts on Serena?
I was thinking about getting Serena, kind of like in the back of my mind. It's a spinner that's, I think, really solid for what it does, blocking priority, which his team might not exactly appreciate due to the fact that they're more kind of like faster, more offensive mons rather than like bulkier walls. So I think Serena's cool in the sense that it can spin things and have momentum with U-turn. It's just like, as you can see, there's a pattern, momentum, right? Volt switch, U-turn, volt switch, U-turn, and I think
Voltage
Serena's
U-turn,
cool.
voltage U-turn. It gets triple axle too, if you didn't know.
It gets triple axle.
Why did they give that ice move to people, but like they didn't give Entei Earthquake or whatever? I mean, Entei's not in the game right now, but you know what I mean? Like it's so weird the way they decide.
Like strength up on Tentacruel. Like, why wouldn't Tentacruel get strength set? It would have been such a such a good Pokemon then.
Agreed. Dude, like he just keeps adding Pokemon. First off, this gets Flip Turn 2. It gets Toxic Spikes. It's a grounded poison type, so you can absorb T-Spike. His team's so hard to switch into. You have adaptability. You have you have huge power. Exactly.
You have Moonblast.
Yeah, like you have Life Orb, Magic Guard Zam. You have a Jirachi that can flinch you to death, and then he has a Defogger and Rotom Fan. Like it's probably just gonna be there. Just
Let's mention T-Spikes. T-Spikes now.
exactly. So super scary team, man. Super scary team. I love Visually's team. Noivern, you actually suggested this to me, so
I loved it.
I didn't even realize Noivern was still allowed at this point because I was like, I need something for speed and I need something that can resist fighting and can defog for me because I mean Execute is good hazard control and everyone's like, oh look, Noivern's there. I was like, oh crap, I didn't even see that. I literally did not see this Pokemon. So I love Noivern. Yeah,
actually.
First scan Infiltrator.
Yeah, and I think for tier 4 though, like that's a good.
I mean,
mon for
look
tier
at my tier 4s. Look how much value I'm getting out of my Gigalith. Makes my tier 1 good. Roserade is good. Noivern is good.
That's so yeah. Like honestly, and you complete your like good speed tier with this Pokemon too. Besides having Sandrill, like on its own as a standalone mon, there's a lot that it can do, and I drafted it too, and I really enjoyed it a lot. Heavy duty boots. And,
Heavy duty boots make a nice Super Fang and Taunt. Good Pokemon. Dude, like I don't know, like Steve is like drafting, and whenever I see his Pokemon, I always get impressed because they're just scary. Like imagine Flip Turn Barraskewda plus Spec Chandelure plus Future Sight Reuniclus, you know, and then fight your Coma ON game in whatever Autotomize, Dragon Dance, Belly Drum, whatever it is, you know. This is
he's just not missing with this pick so far. Like I think Chandelure, you know, with his team overall, firstly, it can spin block away the plethora of hazards that he has. Secondly, offensively, it works so well too. You know, like with Fire Ghost coverage, it's just such a spammable mon.
And this is what we were talking about, by the way. That's tier 4 Chandelure, which would otherwise be tier 3. We were talking like everybody's team is just looking good, right? Like at this point, there's no one that I say, hey, that team just sucks. Like it doesn't really have anything. I love it, and I'm so excited to play because I feel like you know, it's not always the team, it's the player, but the team helps, you know. The team definitely helps when it comes to it. So.
Sure. Like some of these teams are just going to be so annoying to face, like just matchup wise, and not only that, just because, you know, these people, like I guess they know how to use it with their mons because they pick mons that I'm sure they're
familiar with.
Yeah, that would like be best suited to their style.
Exactly. And we have Duraludon. This is definitely another Moet mon.
It's a Moet mon for sure. That is Mr. Moet right there.
You want to talk about this?
Absolutely. So you know, Duraludon, you could set up rocks. You could be a little baby Dialga. You know, for the Weaviles, you got like it's got some pretty good coverage. I wish it got fire type coverage, but
it would have been amazing.
You could do Iron Defense body press things too. So
it'd be OU if it had fire coverage.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, other than that, like it's pretty good defensively. Like you can sponge hits, but FY is not the best. But you have like stuff to back it up with, I guess, like Volcarona and stuff and things. It's good rock resist, really good rock resist.
Yeah, and gives him Stealth Rocker alongside Seismitoad. And it also abuses Galvantula very, very well. And
Mm-hmm.
it gives him dual screen option,
Yes.
which is scary for Volcarona or Gyarados. Decidueye. So I'm a fan of Decidueye too, and this is another mon I want to use in draft. It has like Leaf Storm and Hurricane and stuff like that, so it's really strong on the special and on the physical side. Not only can it trap you, it can baton pass as well. It can curse as a ghost type with Spirit Shackle, which is really cool. Has priority in Shadow Sneak and Sucker Punch. Has Roost and can defog. So I like what it brings to his team.
It also gets Poltergeist this generation, by the way.
Ooh, that's kind of clean. But and more importantly, like it's a resist to electric for his team, which is something he was missing out. Oh my god, this is a good mon. What do you think about Licky Lick? I've drafted this. I've loved this mon.
Yeah, it's been a favorite in draft leagues for a long time now for what it can do. Really solid wish passing mon. Great bulk overall as well. Difficult mon to knock out, and it has really great coverage. It has some setup options.
Good abilities.
I don't know what, yeah, and ability too. I don't know what new moves it gets this gen, but I still think like for being a tier 5, it's one of the better ones.
Whenever this mon is tier 5, it's always a steal. Period.
Yeah.
Like whenever this mon is tier 5, it's always a steal. And like cursed body press or something. Obviously the strong explosion as an assault vest mon, it's gonna be really good. It can't run wish plus Cloud9 yet, but when we get that hidden ability capsule that we get with Crown Tundra, oof, that's gonna be kind of nice. But like whenever I see this mon tier 5, it's like, oh, that's a go-to mon. It's like when I see a tier 4 Piloswine, that's a go-to mon.
Mm-hmm.
But we have Braviary, and this is actually something I would have picked up if Noivern got taken, but Braviary is really cool. I would love to see Patty get some T-Spike for his team, or some spikes, some hazards for his squad. Honestly, just some hazards for his squad that aren't like Necrozma, right? But the U-turn, again, continuing that. Braviary hits very hard. He gets close combat now, which is nice. Defiant, so that's pretty cool as well, though he does have one of the better intimidators, I would say, besides Crocodile. And I like Braviary a lot. It's bulky. It's deceptively bulky because of its high HP stat.
Yeah, like you said, if he has some hazards, people try to defog. Braviary comes in,
Define it up. Yeah,
puts in the work.
You can take this one, bro. Love this one.
Rhyperior. Oh, dude, I've been really loving Rhyperior a lot this gen because it's so great at dealing with things like Zero Aura, Volcarona. Like because of Solid Rock and the bulk that it has, it can take a super effective hit from them. And especially even if you run it with a berry, it's just so good at dealing with those kinds of mons. You have things like Smackdown, which can bring down stuff like Corviknight and Skarmory and stuff. Excellent stealth rocker. And then you can set up with it too. Besides running bulky sets, you could run like Rock Polish, you could run SD, weakness policy sets too, with Umbreon healing it up. Because Umbreon Rhyperior is a core that I was running a lot on my OU teams before I think Urshifu dropped or something, but
Mon decided to come in and click close combat. Yeah. No, I like that. I like that core a lot. And I whenever I've had the chance to draft Rhyperior, I never do because I always get Rhydon since it's lower value. I get higher value off of a lower value Pokemon, but I do really like the Rhyperior.
I feel like having the option not to have to run it Violate with Rhyperior, I think it's so much better.
Yeah. Miltank the mascot. Now I've used this in draft. I've enjoyed it. I did trade it away for Licky Licky, but I did enjoy Miltank. Heal Bell support for his team.
You've heard it here first. He's traded away Miltank.
If they watched, they know. But it gets Stealth Rock for his team, which is pretty cool. So you don't have to run Skarmory or Terrakion for your rocker. You can run Skarmory for spikes. Heal Bell support, which is nice. Scrappy, Thick Fat, and another Sap Super Pokemon. So really, really good, especially like if they fight like a Gengar, like a Spadef Miltank could be something that could check it. Oh, it's Spadef Gastrodon too, but obviously Gengar can run Energy Ball too. And Focus Blast as well, but likely to miss versus the other one. I love the Miltank option.
Yeah, you're about to say you love the milk?
I love the milk. What do you think about Araquanid, dude?
Araquanid, Sticky Webber for his team. Besides that, it's just a really hard hitter. Gives him another water Pokemon that can sponge hits, I guess. Personally, like, I don't see too many web abusers on his team. I guess Arcanine, but like Arcanine doesn't have the wall breaking potential that some of the other mons.
Well, Aegislash plus
yeah, Aegislash can do it, like Specs or Bend or something with Araquanid, but like I would prefer like something a little faster because Aegislash, the most it can outrun is It's like what, Gengars and stuff.
Yeah, keep in mind this was also a drop for him. He had Palace Wine at this point, which was really good for his team, and he drafted it for Araquanid.
Yeah, I just like when I see Araquanid, I want to see things like Obstagoon, Mamoswine. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
those kind of
I get
tiered,
that. We do
but
still have a lot of tiers though that he could fail.
yeah, but for a mon on its own, like it can still do well. Like you can just run a choice band and click attacks, or you could just run like um, infestation, soak toxic, or something, which I'm sure he will do.
We have Slurpuff from Chimpact. I feel like this is also a Chimpact pick. Like a Pokemon that, like Pokemon that you might not normally see until like the end of a draft when you're scrambling to get your sticky web control or whatever. That's definitely it. It gives him sticky web, can endeavor things, cotton guard. He's been using a lot of belly drum on the ladder with like a mirror in them, so he might try belly drum up with that.
Yeah, and even like just like I was using Slurpuff recently, I think in one of my videos, and I was using a Focus Sash sticky web set with Misty Explosion.
Yeah, so exactly. It can be an anti one, so it's really nice with that.
Yeah, and not to mention calm mindsets too with any kind of berry, getting the unburdened boost, that could be really good too.
Yep, I agree. It's a nice mon, a nice pick overall.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
Look at that pick. I've had comments asking me to use Lantern on my videos, and I was just like, just wait for it.
Heal Bell, Thunder Wave support, Volt Switch. I like it.
No, it's nice because like it's a Pokemon that it's a bit of a bulkier water, right? I mean, its defenses are alright, but with its HP stat, it becomes even bulkier, and it actually has a decent speed tier, like 70 something.
Yeah.
So it can outrun a lot of these slower mons, and it has both a water immunity and an electric immunity, so it can be great depending on the matchup. And I like it because it supports Togekiss pretty well.
Yeah. I agree. It deals with the Rotoms that don't like it. Like, it's very hard for Rotoms to break through Lantern, I feel. So that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Dude, I've wanted to use it in draft so much. Now it has heavy duty boots, and it has such great moves like Swords Dance and Bulk Up and Spikes and Knock Off and Poison Jab. I love Golisopod. I love Golisopod.
Too.
What'd you say?
First impression, dude.
Yeah.
That on its own, it's just.
That's it. He got the double first impression, bro.
Oh, he does. The Haxor's Golisopod.
Yeah, exactly. The double first impression. But that's the final pick of round 6. Who did you like overall?
I liked mine. I liked. Did you pick Noivern in this one?
I did.
I liked yours.
Thank you. I was a big fan of I actually like Araquanid more than you do. I just think in terms of like switching it, it's just really hard. I mean, you have like U-turn and teleport mons, and you get in this mon, it's just gonna be a pain.
No, if we're not talking about webs, and if we're talking about like Araquanid as a mon, like an offensive mon, I think it's great for his team.
Exactly. But yeah, guys, we'll be right back with the rest. And we are back, and this time we are joined by a new guest, my AC in the background, because it is hot as hell in New York. Now, Emvee, why don't you take this one away?
All right, what's poppin'? If you guys remember who I was Lord Emvee.
This is all one video.
Check out my channel.
This is all one video, by the way. Remember.
Yeah, so we got here a Hitmontop for the Georgia Goomies. Fruitberry's picking up Hitmontop here. Gives him a nice rapid spinner for the team, along with now that he has, I think, Hazard Control with Zatu's Magic Bounce and Hitmontop. Nice spinner. I was kind of looking at it myself, but it's a cool Pokemon. It has triple Axle now, which is really cool. It is an Intimidator as well as a Pokemon that can run Technician. I think those are the two strongest abilities that it has.
I think it's Steadfast too, or whatever.
Yeah, it does. A plethora of priority in Bullet Punch, Sucker Punch, Mach Punch. You name it, it probably has it. I really like how it has ice coverage now, because I was wanting to run Ice Punch back in the day for Lando, but it was never there.
One thing to note is that Technician boosted triple Axle, if you hit all 3 hits, is just as hard as a V-Create from a Victini. So,
yes, it is, with Technician boosted.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So, that move is incredibly powerful, and I think it's a good pick overall and a steal at tier 5. We have Virizion from Emvee. Emvee picking up his grass type, picking up a fighting type, picking up a good speed tier between Dragapult and Obstagoon as well. Why don't you talk a little bit about your pick?
Absolutely, bro. Dude, I saw Terrakion go, I saw Cobalion go, and Keldeo go. They all went kind of early, remember?
Yeah, they did.
If you guys saw that. And then I was like, hopefully nobody thinks about Verzion, because I definitely want to pick that up again. I've used it before in the past. It's such a fun mon to use. The speed tier is so nice. It has a great amount of bulk where it just is able to set up so easily with Swords Dance or Calm Mind. And it has some new coverage moves that it can use as well.
Air
That
slash.
it got from this gen. Exactly. And I really like this Pokemon a lot in terms of what it can do. It's been so reliable. It was one of my my kill leaders back in the day. And yeah, for a tier 4, I think it's just great
So
overall.
yeah. I think giving you an offensive, a secondary offensive water resist, because I mean you have Dragapult as an offensive one, and you have Lantern as like kind of like that mid tier type of thing. Like whereas it's a defensive one, but it's not. It could be offensive, but probably not going to be, depending.
Yeah, I just like it. It's like a Pokemon that fits my style well in terms of just how versatile it is.
Yeah.
Like physical, special, and just even like bulky.
Yeah,
Even just
yeah,
bulky.
it gets sponge hits, which is pretty big. We have
Yeah.
Sigilyph coming out from Chimpact, and I'm a big fan of Sigilyph. Again, Chimpact building that UU hyper offense team with Zero Aura. Sigilyph has phenomenal abilities. Wonder Skin is the one that you don't ever see, but Tinted Lens and Magic Guard are great abilities. It doesn't get Wonder Skin, right? I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
it does,
Yeah. I mean, it's just that Tinted Lens is amazing. First off, just no resistances on a Pokemon that has its insane amount of coverage. Gives him a ground immunity now, which is really cool, and a Defogger as well, because our second Defogger that he has alongside the Klefki, and Thunder Wave can be a nice stop to set up mons as well. Focus Sash and Magic Guard, and yeah, we have Galarian Weezing from Otto, probably one of the best draft mons. Period. Just because of its insane amount of resistances, its 3 great abilities, and basically its ability to run. Honestly, it can run the same. Like when I used it in the APA, I ran the same set almost every week. Maybe I changed my item to a berry or whatever, and it was consistent. It was extremely consistent. It gives him another ground immunity, gives him another defogger, so he has 3 forms of hazard control right here. Gives him Toxic Spike as well, which is pretty nasty when you have Age Slash, like Sub Age Slash, Mandibuzz and things like that, and good resistances as well. To
Yeah, it's really good synergy with this team, I feel. And
Yep.
like with neutralizing gas, it's a unique Pokemon in the sense that you can poison Magic Guard mons and they can still take damage.
Yep. So that's gonna be big. I mean, you bring neutralizing gas like 9 out of 10 weeks as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, you talk about this one. I love this
Orbeetle.
one, but
Okay, yeah. I really like Orbeetle as a sticky webber overall, especially for Seabad's team, because he has Pokemon like Terrakion, which it is a pretty fast mon, but now you can easily run like Band or SD with Sticky Webs Orbeetle, and that's really great. And it does a lot of other things besides just clicking
can
webs.
calm
like,
mine, yeah.
It can calm mind, it can Iron Defense Body Press, it can I don't know, just U-turn and stuff.
Yeah, Baton Pass again with stats is banned, but one.
I think it gets both screens, right?
Yes. One thing I also want to know, it gets hypnosis as well. One thing I want to know is just look how cool this image of it is. I've never seen it look like this. It's really cool, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, it is. It's a ladybug, isn't it?
yes. Now,
I just wanted to make sure.
well, I mean it's a beetle, but I think it's a ladybug. I think ladybugs are type of. Actually, what are ladybugs considered? Whatever. Frostlass is the next tier 5, and I mean this is a steal at tier. Again, we have a lot of steals, and we have a
It's
lot.
actually an ice type Pokemon,
Thank
and
you.
it's also part ghost.
Yes, but it's a steal at tier 5. Thank you, Emvee. Now, if you guys didn't know, Frostlass has the exact same physical offense as it has special offense. What it provides for James's team is a spiker, a spin blocker, and it has really, really strong physical attacks now in triple axle as well as poltergeist. We used Choice Band in a video.
I remember that
Yeah,
one.
it was really, really good. Great speed tier as well for him. Like, actually, he doesn't have anything fast on his team. So,
Yeah, this definitely bumps the speed up a bunch.
yeah.
And
Gonna make Dragapult run 12 speed instead of 0.
it's just gonna make me run a little bit more.
I love this synergy though, especially with wish
Yeah.
support and whatnot. And good
It has
offensive
some really
play.
good coverage too overall. Like the coverage on it's not bad. Like its offenses could be better. Like if they gave this thing nasty plot, I feel like this would be like such a great mon. Don't you think?
Yeah, I do as well. Ice is just good offensive, especially next to Ghost.
Yeah.
Regular Weezing, thoughts on that from Patty?
I really like that mon a lot. I was thinking about picking it up from tier 5 because just like Galarian Weezing, this thing can also run neutralizing gas too, and be an actual grounded poison.
Yep.
While in certain matchups it can be levitate. It gives him T spikes. That's a huge thing because Necrozma wants dark types to get worn down, right? Because then you can set up with Iron Defense Calm Mindsets if you're running a mono psychic set. And so T-Spike is great because, you know, you'll be able to chip those things down and pressure a lot of different mons that way. And I really like Weezing a lot.
Yeah.
Defensively, and
It's a good
even
mod.
offensively, it's pretty good too.
Very good moveset. Very, very, very good moveset as well on the special side. So that's pretty cool for Weezing. We have Passimian, another pick that Uzi actually picked up last season as well. Love Passimian with his team. The Volt Turn combo. Obviously, you already had a Dragon for U-Turn, but I absolutely love it. I think it's a really good fighting type. Defiant is amazing, especially because he does have Scolipede to, you know, spam hazards. And Passimian's relatively bulky on the physical side. So it can take a lot of, you know, just the weaker physical hits, or even just like neutral physical hits for the most part. Has a pretty nice speed tier too, and what I mean by that is when you look at Hydreigon and Scolipede, they're obviously higher up there, right? Because they're over the base 100. They're not they're over base 100, but they're over that 300 line, right? So
Yeah.
they force base 100s to not run neutral, is what I mean by that. For at least when it comes to Hydreigon. And then you have Rotom Heat, which obviously the same thing, you know, you want to be that speed passer. But then if you had like base 80s versus, if you have base 80s, let's say you have Mamoswine or whatever, like you do, versus his team, you might not end up running Adamant now because he has another mon at base 80 with Passimian. Of course, you know, you might still run Adamant just because it's a good breaker versus him. But just some things to keep in mind. So I like that mid-speed tier between, you know, Rotom and then everything dropping down. I think he's really covering his speed tiers really well.
Yeah, I was looking at Passimian myself. Like I was thinking about getting it, but I knew like Uzi wanted this thing because he loves drafting it. He did drafted last season too, I think, and probably in some other leagues.
Yeah, it's
but
good.
yeah, I do like I like this Pokemon a lot. Verzion though is definitely what I wanted.
Thoughts on Zoroark?
Zoroark is nice. I've been playing around with it a bit in OU, and Disguise is such a great ability, especially for a team as, I guess, out there, like kind of scattered a little bit as +1's team. It's so nice because you can use Zoroark to disguise into a Mimikyu, which is behind a disguise. So you have double disguise right there, double illusion. And I like that because, and also what you can do is you can hide behind other stuff. For instance, you can hide behind a T-Tar, and then people will think you're not a Sand T-Tar.
Yeah. I mean, like, just to go a little bit further with that. First off, that would never work because it would say Tyranitar has a nerve. It literally says that. But Zoroark actually pairs really well with both Mimikyu, Decidueye, and Kingdra because Zoroark has Nasty Plot and Swords just like those, like two of those. And it pairs really well with Kingdra because if rain's up and you go, you know, you're quote-unquote Kingdra, and you bring out Zoroark, you might bring out your Ferrothorn or something, and even under rain, Flamethrower is still a 2-hit KO or type of thing, or like get a Nasty Plot in that position, like you're forced to take a +2 Dark Pulse or something. So it's really nice, that bluff. I think I can't wait to see how he bluffs this Pokemon.
The mind games are going to be nice, and I actually saw a Chinese Zoroark set with Sub, SD, Swagger, and Knockoff.
I think Sucker Punch is a little bit better, but you know what? I'm not going to knock your sets here. We have Moet
picking up Vullaby.
Yep, there you go.
Ooh.
He couldn't run Mandibuzz with heavy duty boots, so he took
So
Vullaby.
he's like, what else? Oh, we got Vullaby here. That's basically Mandibuzz. That gives
Defog.
him a great defogger. Yeah, exactly, for Volcarona.
I mean, Volcarona
Gyarados.
defogs too. To be fair.
Yeah, it does. I mean, what? So he's gonna use defog Volcarona for Vullaby?
I've drafted Vullaby. It's actually really bulky. Obviously, you know, its counterpart Mandibuzz is better because of heavy duty boots and its evolution, of course. But it did its job. It defogged and it avoids spores, which is pretty cool. It also looks tough as hell. And I've used it in a lower tier league. I know Crimson Seabat also, Seabat GG also uses it, or used it in a draft league as well, along with like Kangaskhan and stuff like that, and to some success too. So I like this mod.
It gives them a ghost resist to it too, which is really nice.
I think that's the big thing too, because like let's say you just brought like Shadow Ball Specs, you know, versus him, you just 2-hit KO everything for the most part. Probably some rolls on Gyarados and Volcarona, but this gives him that nice little ghost resist. I like that. Sand Slash, ooh. So
interesting.
Steve is really interesting here because at this point, guys, just keep in mind, he cannot draft the Powdon. Tyranitar has already been drafted. I have Gigalith. And I'm only saying these things because Sand Slash is a Sand Rusher. So if he wants to use Sand Rush, he would have to get Hippopotas. But I still like Sandslash. I think it's a very good low tier ground, right? We talked
Yeah, tier
about
5.
offensive, yeah, exactly. So tier 5 ground. So we talked about offensive grounds. This is a decent defensive ground. Tier 5 had some good ground types anyway, Golurk. But for his team, I understand why he wants Rapid Spin, especially because he has all those hazards, right? I do think he wants to pick up a defogger going forward, or should. But I love knockoff. I love the defensive capability. Sand Slash is actually decently bulky.
It
And
gets spikes now too, by the way. Rocks and spikes, both it has.
yeah, so it's such a thank you so much for telling me that. I knew the other one got it. I forgot about this one. Ooh, hold up, we might have to
Yep.
use that, bro.
I think so. Like now that like this thing has always been known for being like a pretty good spinner, a pretty decent spinner, but now it's actually a really great hazard setter.
Wow, I might even use the other one because I mean it also gets like Super Fang knockoff, So they're
Yeah.
cool support mon, really. Wow, that's really really cool. I forgot this thing got spikes. I remember the other one did, but I was like, duh, they're the same Pokemon. But that's really cool. Oh, I got a Alolan Persian. I love the
Not bad.
speed tier. I mean, you can talk about my pick if you want. I already know I love my pick.
you just want to hear it from me, don't you?
Go ahead.
All right, Alolan Persian. I mean, this is just a great mon. Parting Shot is fantastic. I mean, when you pair it with like Teleport, Slowbro, and U-turn with like Noivern and stuff, Alolan Persian is great. Gives him a fantastic Ghost switch in as well, and having that nice taunt, that nice
Burning Jealousy.
knockoff, and of course, yeah,
That's just like your favorite, your favorite move tutor
It
that
does. It
you
has
never,
Burning
that you
Jealousy.
literally never use. Yeah, your favorite move.
So I
tutor.
would love to see with this set a nasty plot Alolan Persian with Burning Jealousy. I think that has a ton of potential, breaking down some of the more annoying Pokemon that you have to face.
Yeah, like
And,
Corviknight, which I won't kill.
I think you will after a nasty plot. If you're running like a Life Orb, and then they try to go for bulk up, they'll get burned. So then they can't do anything to you.
I think I have to hit them second, don't I?
How?
Doesn't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can run Iron Ball.
All right. Well, thank you for that. I think one of the cooler items is heavy duty boots for this Pokemon. I used it in NU and it was very good, and we're gonna keep going. Speaking of heavy duty boots, my boy just
Oh, yeah.
keeps drafting Pokemon on his team that are hard to switch into. Charizard is a great Pokemon now, man. Heavy duty boots changed the game, the draft game, the standard OU game. I love that he picks Shiny Charizard, my favorite Shiny. Gives him a secondary ground immunity. It's a good breaker for Primarina because Primarina a lot of Pokemon doesn't want to deal with. Ferrothorn is a big one. Charizard deals with that. Specs Hurricane is really nice too. I can set up a Sunny Day if it wants to and just use Solar Power 3 attacks, which would be very scary too. And I like its speed tier as well. Another base
And a
100
great
for him.
physical move pool as well. You can run SD Belly Drum and stuff too. So
Yeah.
it's really versatile in
Yeah.
what it can do, and boots just make it better, like a lot better.
He can't get any Sunsetter though unless he makes trades. at
No,
this
he
point.
can. He can get Vulpix.
Vulpix, you're right. Vulpix is around. My bad.
Yep.
Nice, nice. Ooh, dude, he just keeps making them UU teams right here. What do you think about
Yeah.
this?
Poltergeist is great. Like I feel like it just fits in his team structure really well. With Grimmsnarl's screens, it helps it out so much. It has a lot of momentum as well with Cobalion, Flygon, Picavolt, Serena to bring this thing in safely. And he has pretty good hazard control too. If you look at it, I mean, he has Flygon, Tentacruel, and Serena.
Yeah,
All three of those.
honestly, like a Focus Sash variant would be very scary.
Exactly, webs too, and of course, Poltergeist under webs is extremely dangerous. I like this Pokemon a lot. In draft, I've never used it before. I don't know how well it's gonna do, but because it's pretty predictable. It's either gonna run Shell Smash or Specs, or maybe Scarf too.
It can
but
run, run like sub Will-O-Wisp Hex sets too.
I
with
can see that.
Strength
With
Sap.
Strength Sap, yeah.
Yeah, with Curse Body. So
yeah, no.
I've lost the sets like that before. It's pretty good. So I like Poltergeist.
It's a
tier
scary
3,
mod.
yeah, it is. We keep it tier 3 just because it could be very scary. I mean, it can sweep a lot of us. That's
It
it.
really can. Yeah. There's only one Mandibuzz. There's only like dark types still have to be
Healthy.
healthy.
Yeah, because like Giga Drain does chip, or you can even run Hyper Beam. We have Quagsire coming up from Fan Attacks, kind of keeping up that bulky core he has over here. Quagsire actually does a lot for him. The electric immunity is very important for Talonflame. The water absorb is really nice too for T-Flame as well as Lycanroc. So give him that water resist if he does run water absorb on it. And obviously, Underwear is really good, period, right? Just stopping setup, stopping opposing setup, which is something that's very scary because mons like Kyurem, Hatterene, Lycanroc, Talonflame, and I guess specifically Snorlax itself, because like a lot of the ways you beat setup Snorlax is you either set up with a Pokemon that can take a hit and do damage or have like a choice band fighter. So that's definitely, like, Unaware is going to be a little bit scary.
It's a pretty quality tier 5, if you
Yeah,
ask me.
yeah.
Because,
In fact, it's tier 5, yeah.
And it gives him a really great rock switch for Stone Edge. This thing can eat up Stone Edges pretty well.
Yep. It just gave him a lot of good resistances that he needed. Like, he doesn't have to run any Unaware most weeks if he doesn't want to. He could just run Water Absorb too.
Oh yeah, no. If the team isn't that heavy with setup, like for instance, maybe a bulkier team that someone has drafted, he can easily just run like Water Absorb or something.
Yep. Ooh, love this Pokemon by Nexus, finishing up round 7, giving him a water immunity, and I really love this plus Keldeo plus Weavile. I really love the offensive core behind it. Gives him a water immunity, gives him another good speed tier. So he has really all those mid speed tiers and those higher speed tiers covered as well. It can run obviously solar power too, but I think the dry skin is really going to benefit him. A strong electric type is good versus water types as well, because he had water answers, but some of his water answers can be shaky. Like a Toxapex could be a little bit frustrating for him if he doesn't like Toxic it or anything. And I mean, just Pex in general is just really good, period.
Yeah.
But we get the flip turn Keldeo plus the Volt Switch. That's nasty.
I like it. I've used this Pokemon in draft before. The glare sets are so much fun to use, but they're so annoying for your opponent.
Bro, have you ever fought that sub glare set on the ladder? With that has a rain team and leftovers or something?
I did. I've seen that.
That mon is a pain in the butt. Let's go into round 8. Drifblim. Thoughts on Drifblim, Emvee?
Picking Drifblim kind of makes sense for what I feel like his tier 1 is going to be. Looking at his team right now, right? Drifblim is so well known for being an unburdened Pokemon that there's a tier 1 that's still left there. I'm hoping that he picks it. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes. Also, this draft, we already know everything.
Yes. I'm trying to lead it into the suspense. But anyways,
it's a good.
Yeah, it's nice because like it has Strength Sap now, so its recovery options are so much better than
Calm Mind gets so much scarier. Calm Mind is so much scarier now. It gets Defog. Defog too with heavy duty boots.
Yeah, it can do that as well. I think the most dangerous sets are going to be the Calm Mind Strength Sap ones. And
easily.
Yeah, and it does have a decent physical move pool where it can run like sub Will-O-Wisp acrobatics and stuff too.
Yep, and gives him a ground immunity, which is I think the most important.
Yeah,
because Earthquake is very scary versus his team. We have Durant coming out from Fan Attacks, and it's crazy because like you'll see he has some of the most defensive Pokemon, but then his offensive pressure is so scary too with Kyurem, Lycanroc, and Durant. And like I said, I play him week 1. I'm very scared.
It's like you go into your especially defensive fairy on the Kyurem, and then guess what? You have a Durant that's gonna come in next.
I just click hits, and like Durant got first impression now, which is insane. So it gets adds another priority user to his to his repertoire, and another good, like he's covering all them. Like
he get Hone Claws too now. I never had it prior to the drop of Pokemon Home and stuff.
Oh, you mean in Pokemon Sword and Shield, it didn't have it.
Yeah, in Sword and Shield, it never had Hone Claws last season.
Last season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when we use it.
Now that it can boost its accuracy, it's going to be much more threatening to deal with because Hustle's an annoying ability, and now if it can't miss, then
Yeah, and this team is just extremely scary. That's gonna be interesting. We got Lycanroc Midnight, so nice little tier 5 by Hoodlum Callum, and I actually like Lycanroc Midnight a lot. I think the coolest thing is, like you said, he has webs, has good hazard control, he has dual screens, and this mon is strong. With no guard, it can't miss Stone Edges, so like the most accurate Stone Edges you have right here. It gets close combat and Psychic Fangs now too. I believe Play Rough as well, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about Play Rough. But I know I get Psychic Fangs for sure because all of them get it now.
I really like Kinrock a lot.
Yeah, okay, I knew you'd say it like that.
Dude, this one is actually it's great because it never misses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just never misses. I think it gets some priority too.
Sucker Punch.
Not a Stellar Rock, but it does get Sucker Punch. SD Sucker Punch is very, very dangerous.
This design is cool as well.
It is. In my opinion, I think it has the cooler design of the 3.
I like Dusk the most, but I think this one's second for me. But
This one stands on its feet,
yes,
and its arms are like just barely touching the ground. It gets some new moves like Lash Out. It gets I was looking for Burning Jealousy, but it doesn't have that.
dude, close combat.
Close combat, yeah. I knew you already mentioned that. I thought.
Yes, and second thing, I'm mentioning the good ones, because they're not gonna let you take them. Tangela. So we see visually actually using his tier 5 to get more defensive counter picks. I actually really like Tangela. Good physical wall, as well as the fact that it gets Leech Seed, Toxic, Sleep Powder, can Sludge Bomb as Synthesis. Lost Hidden Power, so that's kind of big in terms of like even if you want to check a dragon. But I mean, if it's a physical dragon, like if it's Dragon Pole, you can knock off the Sleep Powder. If it's like physical, if it's other dragons, you can like Sludge Bomb and wear them down as well. So I like Tangela as a value pick. Low HP though, which is like the main difference between it and Tangrowth. And the
but
fact
it's still
that
a regenerator.
yeah,
right? Good regenerator pivot, which is really what it's supposed to do.
Especially when he has like flip turn and U-turn and stuff. Let him take a hit or go out something that can take a hit. I like it for his squad. I drafted one of my favorite mon ever to use in draft. The only other mon that I think was my favorite was like Cinderace. This was my favorite mon ever to use in draft. I drafted Vanillix in the APA. It was I think my kill leader, just because it's too good. 100% accurate blizzards, freeze dry to hit the ice types. You have taunt as well, and that's all you need. Like sure you got Aurora Veil and stuff like that, but that's really all you need. And I just kind of wanted a special breaker for the squad. Excadrill can be like a physical sweeper. I guess Sylveon and Novan are
Do they
good.
get any setup sets at all? Like any kind of setup moves?
Autotomize, just Autotomize.
Just Autotomize. I mean, it's still good though. Like with heavy duty boots and stuff.
I mean, Scarf and Specs were my best, like almost always. Like because Specs Blizzard, especially if they don't have if they don't have a strong ice resist in their team. The thing is, even if you have ice resist, you get the Blizzard off, which is coming off from 110 base special attack, right?
Yeah.
Then you get the hail chip as well. So you're doing 25, 30%, 35%. To resistances. Let's say your resistance is Corviknight. That's your steel type. Corviknight taking like 50% from specs if it's Spadef. So like that's just like I love this mon because this ice cream is a wall breaker.
Some of my favorite ice types are the ones that have ice coverage with regular and then like freeze dry as well, which this thing does have too. So
Cool
that's really nice.
Okay, another one of my favorites to ever draft, bro. What you think about Comfy for his team?
Yo, Comfy is nice. Yo, takes us back to the multi-battle league days. You and
used
me,
it in
bro.
multi-battle league. I used it in I think the GBA as well.
Yeah,
it was just such a good mon, dude.
It is. It's so like, it's so dangerous because every healing move that it has is priority, and like with Draining Kiss and Giga Drain and stuff, and if this thing like starts Calm Minding, Draining Kiss is gonna keep it really healthy. It's gonna be a tough mon to take down. It has utility stuff as well, like Defog and Taunt and things too, which can shut down a lot of Pokemon trying to stop it. And I don't know. I just think the priority aspect of this mon, having that guaranteed, that +3 priority, I think, with the ability, which is actually faster than Extreme Speed.
Yep.
It's really nice, especially with hazards as well. Hazard stacking.
Yeah.
Comfy.
U-turn can priority heal, can defog as well. And I'm really liking Steve's team a lot. He just last one he picked up a rapid spinner. Now he picked up a defogger, and Comfy is so good late game, especially when you have hard hitters like Barrascuda, Chandelure, and Como, right? Like it's really gonna be hard to not be late game. Oh, Chimp is asking us for. All right, no, it's not. It's not that. What do you think about Avalugg, bro? From Moet. This is also another Moet Pokemon.
Let's see. Oh, Avalugg. I really like Avalugg in the sense that it's just a fantastic defensive wall. It shrugs off most physical hits, especially ones that aren't super effective. And heavy duty boots, once again, like his team has a theme, right? Heavy duty boots with Volcarona and Gyarados, Avalugg and stuff.
Good spinner though.
Yeah, it is, and it's a very hard hitting body press user. I mean, if this thing body presses, your Pokemon is gone. Like. That's how good it is. I think it gets a defense boosting move like Iron Defense too, if I'm not mistaken, or some kind of acid armor move. But yeah, like it's nice. It also can be running like I guess special AV sets with like Mirror Coat even, and it does have Sturdy, which means that it lives from full, so it can check certain mons maybe get some guaranteed rapid spins off. I think that he needed this Pokemon, I feel, because more hazard control is always nice, because sometimes maybe he doesn't want to run heavy duty boots, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I honestly, I really like this pick for Moet. I think that in terms of like physical mons, yes, Silent Toe plus this, and it really just takes so much damage. It takes like so much, is my man, and it has like body press and everything with Iron Defense, like you mentioned. So strong pick. We see that's a +1 picking up the mascot right there.
I like his team because he picked that mascot pick.
I really like this. Now I do feel like there are some other tier. There's some other tier
5 that are better.
That a little bit better for him personally, especially right now when it comes to his team. But I mean, I can understand why you picked this Pokemon. I mean, you got sometimes you just want to. It has already Tinted Lens, which is really good too. It has Compound Eyes as well. But I don't think he has to worry about that because he has Rain for Hurricane. So I think Tinted Lens is going to be the really big one with Quiver Dance. Don't sleep on Butterfree, dude. Like sub Sleep Powder, Tinted Lens, or even just Compound Eyes Hurricane. Just super,
I've used this thing back
strong.
in OU. I've used this thing back in OU when BugNeMZ was there. That is such a strong hitting Pokemon with Tinted Lens. It just makes all the moves so much stronger.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
It's not to be slept on, and that's pun intended because it will click Sleep Powder.
Let's go. We have Espeon. Ooh, another good speed tier cover as well. I mean, not that he wasn't already covered with the speed tier, but I love Magic Bounce. And it has Baton Pass too to keep up the momentum. Obviously, the strong Psychic can Zap Cannon as well. Gets Weather Ball now, which is pretty cool too. Psychic. It lost Signal Beam, but I don't think that really makes too much of a difference, especially when you have Dazzling Gleam. And he has so many mons to weaken Steel types. Hydreigon, like literally all his Pokemon weaken Steel types, whether it be coverage, knockoff, or anything like that. But yeah, I like Espeon. What else do you think about it? I think it's a really good choice specs mon too, especially when paired with like Hydreigon.
It's good at clicking. It's good at clicking buttons and knocking things out. It's also good at like setting up maybe like a bulkier set with stored power. I do wish this thing got Mystical Fire, kind of like a lot of the other Psychic types, like Gardevoir and stuff.
Yeah,
but,
I think that would have been so nice for this Pokemon. Seriously.
Yeah. But it's still nice. It gives him a more offensive form of hazard control by through the form of Magic Bounce, which Magic Bounce is rare. I mean, you only have like the Hatterene family, Espeon, and the Xatu family.
Exactly. And I really just like Espeon a lot. It gets again that Zap Cannon, bro.
Yeah, it does get Zap Cannon.
That Zap Cannon kind of nice. Pharaoh Seed for Patty Trills, and this is a really good addition for Patty. This is what we were waiting for, right? Hazards.
Yeah.
We were waiting for hazards that were in Silvally. This gives him spikes and Stealth Rock again. Doesn't let Silvally have to do anything. I recently used Pharaoh Seed in OU actually today with Jambat. It's literally baby Ferrothorn, right? It's weaker. It's way weaker. Ferrothorn has a good attack stat and whatnot, but just giving him that spike support, giving him a good grass type and a good steel type as well. I think he's getting a lot of value out of his lower tier picks. Really, really good when it comes to this. And I think the Leech Seed is going to be so annoying, especially with Braviary now. So now he got the T-Spike. He has the Pharaoh Seed. That sub-bulk of Braviary, bro, about to come through. Ooh,
I agree.
Thoughts on Reboot?
Reboot is nice. Now, apart from, I guess in contrast to Cinderace, which is only Blaze, Libero is banned on Cinderace. Reboot actually can use Libero, and that actually makes it so nice because it's essentially a baby Cinderace. Its attack stat is still pretty usable. Speed is nice overall, and it does have access to a lot of the same moves borrowed like Pyro Ball. It has, your same Gunk Shot, High Jump Kick, or whatever, U-Turn, and Electro Ball, Bulk Up, and all that kind of stuff. It can still do a lot of the same thing, and I really like it on his team a lot because it gives him more momentum with Rotom, which is great.
Yes.
And
it's strong, dude. It's very strong.
It is strong. Yeah, like it doesn't look strong. It probably wouldn't be as strong at all if it was just Blaze, but Libero will make it a lot better.
Yeah, and it's faster than Rotom. It's 315 speed, like at level 100. So very, very quick, and also has a phenomenal design in my opinion. Love this mon a lot. Gengar. Ooh. What do you think about this? What do you think Chimpack thought about this?
This is Chimpack did not. Chimpack wanted this Pokemon a lot. This is such a good pick for Seabad's team, and it makes so much sense too because he has like firstly his tier 1 being like a primary physical attacker. Then you have Gengar, which is so threatening because he's a ghost type. Not a lot of Pokemon that can deal with it well. The combination of ghost and poison and attacks with Nasty Plot, it's a good speed tier as well. A T-Spike Absorber. It can run a bunch of sets that I can think of. And with Sticky Webs, it's nice too because Gengar has that base 110 speed, which is gonna be so great to outrun things under Sticky Web. And the hazard support that Skarmory has make it a great spin blocker as well. Such a great mon. Whimsicott, being able to support it with Memento or Encore.
Absorbing T-Spike too.
Yeah, exactly. Absorbing T-Spike, and I don't know, dude. This mon is great.
It is. I love his team. I like the Spike's offense is really, really good. And he has a really good defensive backbone between Skarm, Gastro, and freaking Miltank, Just all support. Even Goodra Whimsicott had add to that mix.
Yeah.
It's really strong. Beware. Ooh, so we're starting to see more physical breakers as well coming out of Otto's team right now. Beware is a good mon too. Now, when it comes to tier 4, Pangoro was still allowed as well. I understand why he picked Beware because he wanted the ghost immunity. But otherwise, if he didn't need it, I would have said Pangoro because just being able to spam Scrappy close combat I think would have been huge for him. But Beware is an excellent use of T-Spikes as well because like sub bulk up sets or sub Swords Dance. Sticky Web on the squad makes Beware even better. You have a million resistances to all of Beware's weaknesses. And again, just really his tier 4s are really strong as well when it comes to his Pokemon.
Arcanine, Rotomall, Araquanid, Beware. That's really quality picks overall from that tier. And I think with the typing, Beware provides a lot more, but Pangoro I think otherwise would have been a stronger pick in general. I've used it. It's just so difficult to switch into. And with Scrappy, it's just like a little Urshifu, or better than Urshifu actually.
Yeah,
it's Pangoro.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
We have Appleton coming up from Chimpack. I believe this was also a trader. I'm not entirely sure, but I haven't seen Appleton much, but it does have a really good move pool. On the special side, it has Draco Meteor, obviously, and Apple Acid. Apple Acid always dropping their special defense makes it incredibly scary, especially because I believe it has base 100 special attack. On the physical side, it has Curse and Body Press, which is really nice. It has Bullet Seed. Some really good abilities like Ripen, Thick Fat, and was it Gluttony?
Yeah. At tier 5, I think this is an amazing pick, isn't it?
Yeah, for him.
The lowest tier possible.
Especially for him. Look at the ground. The ground resist is beautiful. I think that one of the big things I like as well is just Leech Seed plus Quillfish is really cool with each other. And Quillfish's weaknesses, Appleton is just gonna shrug off most of the things. And Thick Fat is really something not to sleep on. You go out to an ice type and you won't even kill this thing with Ice Beam, even though it's a dragon and it's a grass type. Because Thick Fat, it's regular weak, man. It's like hitting a Rindoberry Gastrodon. It's gonna live a hit. Live a hit. And it gives him
it's naturally really bulky too.
Yep.
So you can easily survive and shrug off hits. This will shrug off fire hits.
Yeah.
Even better, dude.
Easily.
Yeah.
Ooh, talk about Skuntank.
I picked Skuntank here. I thought this was a really fire pick. I know a bunch of other people. I think a couple other people wanted this Pokemon too. But I picked up Skuntank firstly because it is a T-Spike Absorber. In tier 5, I already have a Dark-type and Obstagoon, but Skuntank and Obstagoon don't really clash in terms of weaknesses. And I like Skuntank because it also is able to deal really well with stuff like Alakazam and Reuniclus and Psychic types that would otherwise sometimes pressure Obstagoon with the coverage that it has. It gets access to Nasty Plot. And most importantly, it gets access to Burning Jealousy, if I'm not mistaken. I think it gets Burning Jealousy. I made sure to check it.
It does.
Yep. And I think utility-wise, it's great. Offensively, it's great too. Skuntank also has some really useful abilities in Stench and Aftermath. Aftermath can be really crucial to chip something down in order for something like Dragapult to pick it off, or one of our other offensive mons. And the coverage that this has is amazing. It has a ton of coverage that it can use. And I feel like with Nasty Plot, it can be a lot stronger. It also can run physical attacks. like Sucker Punch and Crunch and Poison Jab and stuff.
Taunt as well. It's a really good
Yep.
AV user as well, in my opinion.
And it gives me, most importantly, of course, it also, besides Burning Jealousy, it gives another defogger, or another
Yes.
Pokemon that can click defog to the team, which is
Yes.
great hazard control. And
Yeah,
if I want to run it defensively, it can be foul play too.
Good pick, good pick. And finishing up this round, we have.
You want to talk more about Skuntank? I wanted to.
No,
talk more about
I agree
Skuntank
with you. I agree with you. I agree.
Oh, thank you.
Finishing up this round, we have Ditto, and this is something that really helps Fruit out because, as you can see, he has Haxorus, which is a really scary setup on them. I mean, he could run Choice Band every week, in my opinion, because I did, and it was good. And then basically his team is kind of slow. Like you see all his speed tiers, like his best forms are Dragon Dance Haxorus, and if he runs Scarf or like Scarf Haxorus or Scarf Zot, that's like it. That's basically it when it comes to him. So Ditto really is a value pick, I feel, for him. Not only will it help him.
I kind of want to.
I know you wanted Ditto. It's a good mod. It is a good
I like
mod.
Ditto.
It's a good mod. It's a really good value pick. I think it also helps him out with like, so he has Clefable, which is a good magic guard user that can obviously switch in on regenerator mons. But like Pokemon like Amoonguss and stuff like that, like just being able to pivot in with Ditto on like everything and show me your set. I think that works really well when you have like potential wish support from Clef and some good bulky offense on his team.
It's so good, dude. When I used it before, like it wasn't even there just to sweep. Like I switched it into things like Arcanine and Mienshao on the U-turn and stuff, and just like copied their abilities and their moves.
And you'd be annoying. You'd be annoying after.
Yeah.
No, so I really like that Pokemon. So that finishes up round 8, and let's see if this messed up. It did. Okay, so we'll see you guys in a sec with the next round.
So we got the Malamar pick next from Fruit Berries here, and Malamar is really interesting on his team. Now it's kind of all coming together here. Malamar being a great Trick Roomer, a Pokemon that can Trick Room with Xatu, maybe as a support, Marowak, and some of the slower mons that he has, like Golisopod, Haxorus, and stuff. Not Haxorus, Magnezone. I really like the fact that Malamar, like it's just such a unique mon. Contrary is a really fun ability to use. Just click Superpower a couple of times, and then this thing becomes very difficult to knock out. Let me actually confirm real quick, but I believe this mon gets Burning Jealousy.
Why do you care about that? Anyway, in terms of what Emvee said, Trick Room is cool alongside.
Dang, it doesn't. I'm actually upset
with what Xatu can do. I think a big thing as well is like he has U-turn, he has Volt Switch. So, I mean, I think for the most part you want to get in mons like Haxorus and Alolan Marowak on those turns. But in terms of tier 5, it's all right. It's
looking at some of the coverage that this thing has, I didn't know that it got Liquidation, Flamethrower, and
is it special attack usable?
It's base 68 special attack, but it does get access to Calm Mind, which
which will lower your stats if you use.
No, but think about it. It will lower your stats, but it does have 2 other great abilities.
Yeah, Suction Cups, so they can't phase
Suction
you.
Cups, it can't be switched with Suction Cups. Secondly, Infiltrator, which can go through substitutes and
it also gets Nasty Plot, by the way.
Oh, it does get Nasty Plot. I think that's a new thing.
It probably is.
So you're not even just limited to Contrary. Contrary to popular belief, this thing can run multiple sets.
No, I agree. Interesting pick. I think this is the one that's like I'm iffy about, but I think it's a good mon. Period. Just because it's tier 5, Had I been tier 4, I'm like, bro. No.
The reason I took Skuntank last time was because it just looked like it fit on his team. Like, wouldn't you think that he would take Skuntank this turn?
Yeah. It actually looks like it. Like Skuntank in terms of that, definitely. And I mean, I see why you wanted it. So why don't you actually talk about your next pick? Well, I'll say something about Sand Scorch. I think it's a really scary mon to switch into because of knockoff and Fire Lash getting that guaranteed. Why are you using these shinies? Getting that guaranteed.
You like it?
That's nice. Defense Shop has a beautiful speed tier and honestly, not speed tier. Coverage, beautiful coverage. So like Leech Life for recovery, Thunder Fang, Power Whip, good special move pool as well, like Scald and stuff. One of the few fire types that get Scald. And Flash Fire, which I think is really important for your team too. I like Flash Fire.
Yeah, exactly. So I was kind of thinking of it in the sense that heavy duty boots are just so great overall. In the tier 4s now, there wasn't really anything that I desperately wanted, except for maybe this thing because, Scorch, it's essentially like a miniature Volcarona in a sense. It has that kind of similar sort of fire bug action there with actually being immune to fire type attacks with Flash Fire and some excellent setup opportunity with
Shout out to heavy duty boots, man.
And the coverage I think is actually even better than Volcarona with, having so much potential in its physical move pool and its special move pool as well. Base 115 attack is strong. 90 attack is nothing to shrug off either.
Special attack, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like this Pokemon can be, not only difficult to switch into, but also difficult to knock out in a sense, depending on what you're running.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, especially after it sets up, and like you can't really use normal defensive means as a way of dealing with it. So I love that pick. We got Jellicent as well from Chimpak, and now he has a spin blocker with the hazards, and this core like doesn't have a fire type yet, but like Appleton plus Jellicent is so nice defensively. They really work well with each other because Appleton's gonna shrug off most dark type attacks coming out of Jellicent and most ghost type attacks anyway. And he has some nice natural resistances like Crocodile as well. And I think this is the type of mon that actually would be annoying with like a Cobra or like a Walk-On Berry for him, depending on what he brought. Like, so it's good, I think, that he picked this up as well.
Yeah, I agree. Like the hazards that he has with Quillfish, Klefki, maybe even Crocodile as well, and then just being able to spin block, it's great. And Jellicent's super reliable now with Strength Sap. It's difficult Pokemon to deal with too, and you can run a couple different sets, I feel, and it's just an annoying mon to deal with.
Like, it is. I mean,
water immunity, just so many immunities on this.
Curse Body and Strength Sap now.
Resistances, yeah,
Taunt
exactly.
Hex. Also, he could run offensive with Sticky Web if he wanted to. That's a good special move pool.
I would like to see a water spout.
That'd be sick. I mean, knowing Chimpak, he would use that. Literally. Like, it might even be week 1. So we have Mudsdale coming out, and I love Mudsdale as a ground type. Now, if you guys didn't know, Otto actually, like I mentioned before, had Piloswine over Araquanid and decided to trade it. I think Piloswine is one of the best draft Pokemon ever, but Mudsdale's a really good rocker, a really good ground type for his team, which is something he needed. Stamina is good too, and like alongside with Beware, it's just like one of those mons that's going to naturally take physical hits. And not that he doesn't have Pokemon that can do that with Mandibuzz, Weezing, and Arcanine as well. Any thoughts on Mudsdale?
I think the stamina boost is going to be fun for this
Body
Pokemon
press.
because, yeah, like every time you get hit by something, you get a defense boost, and you pair that with body press, and this thing becomes actually a really dangerous mon if this thing is on the field for too long. Being a stealth rocker is great too, and it has some pretty decent coverage in terms of hitting Pokemon that are, I guess, flying. You got like rock coverage and stuff, and things that you can run with it. I don't know if this thing gets smacked down at all, but either way, I think this thing is giving him a great electric immunity that I think his team
really
needed.
Yeah, really. I mean, Mandibuzz, Starmie, Araquanid for sure needed it.
Yeah.
We have Aromatisse coming out now. In terms of fairy types that are wish passers, I would say it would be like Sylveon, Florges, and then Aromatisse, and like how I'd rank them. I mean, okay, Clefable first, obviously. Clef, Sylveon, Florges, Aromatisse. So Aromatisse would obviously be last in sort of that, but because there's no Florges in here, and because it's only a tier 5, I think it's a great pick for his team. Getting wish support with Goodra, Miltank, Gastrodon, Whimsicott, Skarmory, beautiful. So I think it's an excellent pick. It has Nasty Plot, Trick Room, has decent coverage as well, and yeah, I mean the problem with Aromatisse is that like it has to decide whether to heal itself or its partners, which a lot of wish Pokemon have to do unless they're like Regenerator or Magic Guard. So, and it doesn't have the fattest wishes for considering how bulky his team is, like how high HP some of his Pokemon are, but I think it does fit really well, like for a squad. A secondary fairy type that doesn't feel like it's overlapping with Whimsicott, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I do like the ability in the sense that it just blocks Taunt.
Yes.
And so that it can do its thing without having to get shut down by any of those kind of moves, Taunt, Encore, and things.
Yep. Clefairy, speaking of which, what do you think about this, since we're getting all these fairy types out of tier 5?
Those tier 5 those bulky fairies. Clefairy is actually a really good mon. Support wise, it's nice. It basically does everything that Clefable does. So in that regard, I like that. Still has Magic Guard and everything. Doesn't have Unaware, but it can still calm mind and be a threat. Has great coverage overall. Stealth Rocks and T-Wave support, knockoff support. It's a good support mon for the team. I mean, I would like to see like some kind of cosmic power.
I mean, it basically does what Clefable does in OU. So
Yeah, exactly.
like a lot of the same moves.
It's not as strong, but it's still really bulky. It can still, like, with a couple setups here and there, do as much as Fable in that regard.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he already has a good Wish Passer and Umbreon. I think he just wanted
His
a good fairy
yeah,
type.
his team is overall looking really OU. Like, it gives those OU vibes,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it does. It does have a lot of OU vibes, and also like a lot of VGC vibes too. Frengar,
Yeah.
Clefairy, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jolteon for Patty Trills. Now this is actually Electro type was something that I knew a few people were looking at. I know Fan is actually looking at this for sure. And with a lot of Pokemon being taken already, like Heliolisk and Zeraora, I think Jolteon is a good tier 4 for him. I think the speed tier is what he really wanted, because besides Mienshao, his team kind of just went downhill in terms of speed. So Jolteon gives him a nice speed tier. Forces, for example, you Dragapult to run a Jolly Nature or Timid instead of max HP.
Oh, am I not faster than it? Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's 394 versus 383. At level 100. Obviously, we're level 50, but it's not going to be. You don't get that much of a change, from level 50. That's going to be that crazy.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a big thing. Whereas Jolteon can kind of safely run Modest. Emvee has to be a little bit more concerned when it comes to prep, unless he wants to, be a little bit wild. But I mean, I've heard stories of, I think Chimpak had a Dugtrio and his opponent had a Scarf Magirna, but he thought Chimpak would not run max speed on Dugtrio. So Dugtrio ended up trapping the Magirna.
The Scarf Magirna.
Yeah. So just first off, the fact that Magirna was allowed in whatever draft league was crazy.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so definitely don't. I know for a fact you don't mess with that unless you're really confident in your defensive backbone. But I love its speed tier. Lost Signal Beam. It has Weather Ball though, which is interesting. He doesn't have any weather, but maybe, if he like a sunny day on something, he could do Weather Ball HP Fire. Could be cool. Could be a cool type.
I could see that. Yeah. No, I think like
Electric immunity too.
the loss of hidden power on this thing definitely takes it down a bit, but I think it can still do really well just with the Volt Switch, the electric, and like maybe the Shadow Ball
exactly
coverage.
for what he needs. For what he needs, it's good.
For what he needs, it's good. Yeah.
Thoughts on Stunfisk? I think this was something you were looking at too. If you
I
didn't
wasn't
get,
looking for Stunfisk.
I thought if you didn't get Lantern, Stunfisk was something. Maybe I'm thinking about somebody else.
No, I wasn't thinking. Yeah, you might be thinking about somebody else. But Stunfisk, I hit number 1 in an OU with a Stunfisk. I like this Pokemon. And I've used it before in draft as well. For a ground type, it's actually really good.
Hey, you were looking at this.
No?
Yeah, it says February 9th, 2020, the last draft league.
That's the last draft, exactly.
Keep going, sorry.
Exactly. Nice. Yeah, this thing is nice because static is such a great ability for this thing because people will click U-turn. People will just click U-turn. You bring this thing in, you static a Pokemon. You're also able to threaten physical attackers really well with Foul Play, which is nice. It gets some great coverage in Earth Power, Discharge, Scald, and stuff as well. And you can run some pretty heat sets with Curse and stuff, I think. In my opinion, I like Stunfisk a lot as a ground electric type. It's great at dealing with the flying types that, a lot of them just don't handle Stunfisk.
And he has beautiful answers to Stunfisk's weaknesses as well. Rotom Heat, Tangrowth, so some great mons, and with Leaky Wish support.
I think Golurk might have been better for this team though.
I guess in terms of the grounded mon and Stealth Rock and stuff like that, I can understand that, but I mean it doesn't force him to run Rotom Heat every week though. I mean, I don't think there's ever a force to run Rotom Heat. It's a good mon in draft period.
Yeah.
We have Bulbasaur, and like I said, the electro types are really being picked up now as people are trying to cover some speed tiers. So that's a good speed tier that's a +1. Though Rain is a speed tier in itself, obviously. But Bulbasaur has really good coverage. Strong Jaw is very strong with Thunder Fang, Fire Fang, Crunch, and Psychic Fangs. As Volt Switch can run special sets with competitive as well because that's released. So stuff like if you want to try and intimidate it on the Fangs, maybe you'll get Thunder Bolted instead of Thunder
I like your bolt puns going on right now.
Thank you. I put some emphasis on that, but I was trying to be less obvious about it.
You know who wouldn't slide by me.
But I think Bolton's always a scary mon.
It's like a big Zero Aura, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like a miniature Zero Aura.
Yeah, I could say that. Though I think that sometimes it even hits harder, depending.
You're like a baby Zero Aura.
Claydol, another Moetmon for sure.
What kind of Moet?
Bro,
Picking up Claydol.
Moet really. I swear, if you gave me a week and you gave me 50 mons, I bet you I could pick out Moet's team. I bet you, like, if you gave me 50 mons to choose from, I bet you I could pick out Moet's team. I feel like any of us could do that.
Any of us, yeah.
This is such a Moetmon. It gives him a second spinner. It gives him another ground immunity. It gives him an another electric immunity. Claydol has a good move pool now, so it doesn't actually suck. Rapid spin boosting your speed actually works really well on Claydol too. And yeah, I mean that has a good move pool now. I mean it has like Nasty Plot, and Rapid spin got better. So like it already had a good move pool before, but it has some cool little techs like that. And I think Claydol is actually dangerous in the hands of the Mr. Moet. Any thoughts on Claydol?
It definitely is. It definitely is. It gets some. Let me touch on some of the new moves that it gets. Right, Claydol now gets access to a move that it can run called.
Just say store power. Does it get store
It doesn't
power?
get Meteor Beam.
Yeah, bro.
Stored power.
Yeah,
it gets stored power.
Expanding
and it gets
force, body
expanding
press.
force.
Body press.
Ooh.
I think
it's body press.
Yeah.
High defense body press. That's gonna be really.
yeah,
fun
that's
too.
what I'm saying. It also.
Why doesn't this thing get Meteor Beam? I thought it would. Like Claydol looks like it would get Meteor Beam, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it does. Though Cosmic Power, I think Iron Defense could be Cosmic Power, like body press stored power. Seems kind of.
I feel like he would run that because, like, you remember last season when, or in a different league where he brought like Orbeetle and he was doing that kind of stuff too, right?
Yeah. I could hella see it. What, bro? Cosmic Press, body press, stored power, rapid spin. What else do you need?
I think this thing with Scorching Sands is going to be really fun too on the special side.
Yes. Actually, like Claydol isn't that strong, so it being able to actually punish Pokemon coming in by burning them, really nice. I like Moet.
Yeah. I like Moet.
I like Moet. Cinchino, another technician, triple axle that it just got in its move pool. Always scary with the King's Rock as well. Good abilities, skill link as well as, like I said, technician. And a skill link gets Q charm too, I believe.
Yeah.
Skill link means that you if you land the first triple axle, you won't miss the rest. Obviously, triple axle does get stronger, but it's not as strong as with technician. But that's a pretty cool thing.
If you want to go the riskier route, though, you can run technician triple axle and hit like V create.
Yep, exactly. U-turn, knockoff, good speed tier as well. Right under like Barraskewda-ish area, but higher than like Pokemon like Scolipede. So I like that for his team. And again, always a scary mon because it can run King's Rock if it wants to.
Yeah.
What you think about my Kangaskhan pick, bro?
Ooh, Mama Kangaskhan here. Not bad, dude. Like, I think it's. I mean, I haven't really looked into it much this gen. I mean, it just came back, right?
Yeah.
So, does it get anything new?
I don't know, but I remember Gator putting in work with it, and I remember giving Gator a set that put in a lot of work too.
Like, look, it
like-
has the speed. Like, it has some good speed, base 90 speed. You know, its attack is all right. 95 is good. It's all right. But you could set up with it like power up punch and stuff.
It's bulky.
Yeah, there's a lot of Chinese sets you could run with this Pokemon. A lot of great HP too.
Can wish.
Fake out. You know, you got this Scrappy ability, which can go through Ghost types. So in that sense, like it works for your team pretty well. I feel. Being a normal type, which I think your team kind of needed.
Yeah. I think I was alright versus like.
It's a good status absorber too because you could just run Facade.
Yeah, I can run that Facade.
Yeah, the Facade.
I love it with Persian too, just like the parting shot, getting it in, and we didn't really say it too much, but it's pretty bulky with its base 80 stats, but like base 105 HP is really nice, and it has wish too.
I remember that one set that Gator ran, which was like the Curse Protect.
Yeah, so
Curse Protect.
we were trying to figure out like what the hell to run versus Uzi. Shout out to Uzi by the way, and we ended up running Curse Protect because the leftovers recovery was just so nice.
Yeah.
With like Drain Punch, and I mean it ended up putting in work.
It did. It won in the game.
Yeah, I remember Kanga won in the game. That's Kanga Mom. Kangaskhan should have a pre-evolution called Kangasroo. I'm just saying this. Next. Oh, visually picking up Scrafty, not Callum. What do you think about this one?
That's a tough. That must be tough for him for sure. But I was also looking at Scrafty if I didn't get some of the dark types earlier that I wanted to get. and of course my Virizion. But Scrafty in tier 5, I think is amazing. Like, isn't it such great value for
Yeah,
being
yeah, yeah.
that low?
Hella great value, dude. I
Like,
mean, it's scary, dude. It can sweep on its own.
it has 3 useful abilities: Shedskin, Moxie, and Intimidate. All of those 3 can be used. You know, Shedskin and Intimidate maybe more on like defensive sets, like with bulk up and stuff. Even on offensive sets too. But even like, but then the Moxie, you know, that can be such a dangerous sweeper with Dragonets and stuff. You know, this thing can easily spam close combats, and I think now it gets Lash Out, so that could be kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah. His team is so hard to switch into as well. Like, it was already hard enough to switch into, and now he has a Pokemon that can, like, I mean, he already had mons that could set up, obviously, right? Like Calm Mind, Nasty Pots, whatever, Swords Dances, Dragon Dances, Belly Drums. But now he has another Dragon Dancer, another bulk up mon. And like with T-Spike, with Dragology, and basically with his entire team breaking through your walls, man, like what are you going to do when Scrafty just starts bulking up? That's
exactly.
This is one of the scariest teams, I think. Like in terms of like offensive pressure, I would say this team, and honestly, like I'm even looking at like Fanatax's squad, and Nexus, I would say. In terms of like offensive, I probably put you fourth at current. But like in terms of offensive pressure, I think I would put those guys a little bit higher. Just because, like, I mean, look at his whole top row. Like, what do you do?
I mean, look at my whole top row.
Nah, bro. But like,
I got Dragapult, Togekiss, Mamoswine, Obstagoon.
Yeah, Diggersby, Charizard. Diggersby, Dragology, Primarina,
Yeah,
Alakazam. No. They might win on 1v1, but in terms of what switch-ins, there are definitely less Pokemon that can switch into his team.
That's true.
Just because it's just a wall breaking team. And this is what I'm talking about. Like this is another mon.
Dude. Like,
Jesus, dude, he's drafted nothing but UU mons, and they're all scary. Like, actually, this is a full UU team.
No, I love the colors on his team too. It's a really like colorful offense kind of team.
It is. I love his approach to this draft. I'm gonna be honest. It looks like just a whole bunch of value Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, he's gonna have to get a tier 1 eventually, and the tier 1's gonna be good. Period.
It will.
Right? His tier 2's really good too. I mean, honestly, his tier 3s are great. Like, for tier 3, I think Poltergeist is fine. I think Porygon Z is super value at tier 3 as well. And like specs, agility, sub, nasty plot, recovered, 3 attacks. Like in terms of breakers, it's another team that's very hard to switch into low key. Like low key.
It is. And then when you try to switch in, you just get momentumed out and trapped in the vortex.
Exactly. That's a big thing about his squad. We have Roselia coming out from Faint really picking up those, taking advantage of those lower tiers for more defense added to his squad. So Roselia is decent in draft. I've used it actually a couple times, and setting up spikes and whatnot. It just does what Roseray does, but bulkier. And when I mean bulkier, I mean like Roseray can obviously be really bulky on the special side, but like Roselia with an Eviolite is naturally bulky. I've used like Poison Jab Eviolite to beat Subcom Mine Raikou, because it couldn't kill me, and then because it would try and Subcom Mind up, and HP I said like 18%. And then I'd break its sub up with 28 attack. I believe it was like 28 attack invested Poison Jab, and I'd 1v1 it. I'd Poison Jab and Dazzling Gleam, so when he tried to go Hydreigon, I bopped that too. So I really love that with Quagsire. I really love that with Hatterene. I really love that with Snorlax, Cofagrigus. Like, this is a scary, like, and I keep stressing I'm playing week 1. We haven't played yet, but I'm worried, you know? Like, I drafted all these balance mons, he has all these breakers, and then he has the fat defensive backbone, so definitely a nice squad.
It's a quality. I think it's a quality tier 5 for what it does. With the hazards and just the amount of support that it can provide with, in conjunction to his other mons. It's really good.
Exactly. And we're finishing up this tier. You want to take Nexus and then his next one as well?
Absolutely. Colossal, I think, is for a tier 5. It's pretty valuable. Like, this thing gets rock spikes and stuff. Rapid spin too, so it kind of is like a bundle package altogether right there. And not to mention, this thing can run a bunch of different coverage moves. It has like, I think, body press and stuff too.
Yep. Will-O-Wisp. It can also do the you can run some stuff with like Steam Engine plus like Endure Weakness Policy. Could be cool. Now I'm gonna be honest, I drafted Colossal. I only brought it once and I didn't even get to use it during the time, but because when I had another fire type like Rotom Heat, it was very hard to justify. Like, I didn't even bring rocks most of the time in the APA because it was hard to justify that when I had such great offensive presence. And I kind of feel like that's similar when it comes to Nub Nexus. And in terms of like defensive Pokemon he might want to bring that can still be offensive, Druddigon and Steelix come more to mind. I feel like you're going to see higher uses of them than Colossal this season. But, maybe if he's fighting, for example, Rotom Heat, like from Uzi, Colossus is a good pick. So
Yeah. Something that could be really like a really fun set to use sometime is like a Natatomizer, some kind of like, or does it get like a speed boosting move like Rock Polish? I think it does, right?
it probably
You
does.
use that with like Meteor Beam.
With like power herb.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
It could work. It has base 80 special attack, right?
And then you get +1.
It could work. It could work.
You don't like that?
It could work.
Oh.
I can see it, Emvee. I'm not trying to knock it. You know, it could work.
You like that? It's like I was thinking of it.
I said it could
Not
work,
that-
Emvee. I'm not gonna say I like that. I said it could work like 6 times. Talk about Hitmonlee, bro. And you hinted at unburdened mons. Keep going.
All right, so look, listen. You know, Hitmonlee is here. He's got Hitmonlee Drifblim now. Like we obviously know Tier 1 has to be Rillaboom. Like there's no doubt about it. Like Hitmonlee is a Pokemon that gives him Rapid Spin, which is nice for his team. And besides that, it can be really great at like setting up with bulk up and stuff. It has Mach Punch priority, which is great too. I think it gets some other priority as well, but yeah, like a fighting type threat that can work in terrain conditions, which I'm sure he'll pick up, is gonna be great. And like I think for his team, because he's running, like hazards with Colossal and stuff, and plus he probably doesn't want to defog away potential terrain that he's gonna get for his team.
Yeah.
I feel Rapid Spin is gonna be really crucial to keep hazards off his field.
I do want to note, just because people are probably like, how the hell is Hitmonlee Tier 3? Hitmonlee's actually Tier 4, and Nexus had a mistake.
He's Tier 4,
Yeah.
but he picked it up for his Tier 3.
Which is not technically legal in our draft, but it was a mistake, and Nexus only wakes up at 6 p.m. So, instead of waiting and for everybody to agree, we just kind of had like a mini vote. People were all right with it. Other people were all right with it. Big shout out to That's a +1.
And I think it's fine too, because it is a lower tier mon. So, plus in this league we want everyone to enjoy their team and like their team.
Yeah, exactly. That's the big thing,
overall.
like we said before. So, we let him get away with it, and obviously, it hella helps him out when it comes to unburdening. We have Pangoro from Fanatax keeping up with that zero switching type of team with Lycanroc, Kyurem, Pangoro, Durant, close combat with Scrappy, has the Iron Fist, has the Mold Breaker. I drafted it. I loved it in the Banded Pokemon. I loved it as a Life Orb Pokemon. It's good. It's good. That's it. It's good.
It really is. No, it really is. And, its abilities are useful, and
Gives him a
like
dark
they
type.
can be depending on the matchup, right? Pangoro, if there's like a bulkier ghost type or a ghost type Pokemon on your opponent's team, Scrappy's gonna be really useful. Yeah, it's Iron Fist so that you could boost the power of your punching attack, your fist attacks. Mold Breaker works really well in conjunction with Bulk Up or SD if your opponent has Unaware. Like Clefable, you can run some speed and destroy it with your coverage moves. This coverage, like the coverage that this thing gets, is fantastic.
Yeah.
Very tough Pokemon to switch into.
Yep, agreed. So we have Galarian Rapidash by Callum, and I low-key like this Pokemon. I think it's a good offensive fairy because it has Swords Dance and Play Rough and High Horsepower and Wild Charge, and Zen Headbutt. So I don't remember if it has Wild Charge. I know the other one does.
It does, yeah.
Okay, cool. So offensively as a fairy, it's really good, and he has such what are fairies weak to? You got Steel and you got Poison types, and look at his team. He has so much to cover those,
Yeah.
and it's such it's another mon that doesn't care about T-Spikes because of its ability.
His team looks really cool. Like it just looks really cool on paper, and like with sticky webs and stuff too. Galarian Rapidash becomes such a threat. Swords Dance, it hits extremely hard. You can run with Life Orb and stuff, and
Scary. It can calm mine too.
yeah, it can comment you. Yeah, it has a healing move in Morning Sun.
And
Did you
Healing
know
Wish. And Healing Wish. Yeah, I did.
Healing
I
Wish to heal
thought,
other monsters.
it also gets Mystical Fire, if you didn't know.
Nice. Its special attack is pretty usable at base 82, 80 as well. I mean, 82.
Can't believe they gave this thing Mystical Fire and not Espeon.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, like whatever. Keep going.
Yeah,
Palosan.
move on.
Ooh, he's finally picking up his his defensive stealth rocker, and like again, like
So in terms of ground ghosts, we have three of them. We have Palossand, we have Rune, and Golurk. Which one do you like more? How would you like rank each three? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, in offense, you have to put Golurk first. I would probably put Golurk at 1 or 2, no matter what.
Okay.
But if I'm ranking defensively, probably Palossand, Rune, and then obviously Golurk after.
Why?
Well, main reason is because Palossand has Scorching Sands now. So not only can it status you with Toxic, but it can status you with Scorching Sands. And Scorching Sands with Shadow Ball is almost unwallable. And it has Shore Up, the best recovery move in the game. Period. And it has Stealth Rock. Obviously, the Rune has Toxic Spikes. But and being the, getting the defense as well. Imagine he brings this thing in on a flip turn from Keldeo. Gets the +2 defense. Hold up.
Yeah.
And walls the rest of and walls the Weavile. And
That's true.
I like Palossand. I just think the reliable
Its
recovery
ability, I think, is
useless.
It's pretty useless ability. But yeah, like I really like how it can just heal itself with a recovery move in Shore Up, and like you said, the Scorching Sands move is really great on it.
Like, it's like his team retains this really hard to switch into because, like, I mean, Palossand isn't going to hit too hard, right? I mean, it has good special attack, don't get me wrong. But, like, you go out to your physical attacker trying to deal with it, and it burns you. What you going to do? That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I picked up Dracozolt, baby.
Ooh.
I said, give me a breaker. I want this boy. I got a special breaker in Vanilla. Give me a physical wall breaker. And that's my friend Dracozolt. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to be like Emvee. I'm running Hustle every week, and I'm not missing. Emvee missed and said, I'm going Volt Absorb. Nope. I'm not missing.
Like that's the thing. Like I really didn't like this mon in draft. It missed so much. I was so like scared after that too.
I'm never running Blender Policy 2. I'm telling you that. Forget that. It's gonna miss when I need it to. It's gonna not need it to. It's gonna hit when I don't want it to. Forget that.
It might be a good Pokemon 80% of the time for you, but for me it was a good Pokemon maybe 40% of the time.
That is that's really sad. But just gave me a nice, like, I have ways of dealing with water types obviously, and even flying types like with the squad, but I mean just it gives me a physical breaker. I wanted it.
I think for your team in particular, it's really good. It's too bad though that you can't run
Sandrush.
Sand Rush.
Now technically, I made the rules, so I could do that if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna do it now. But it would be amazing because, shoot, I would. I definitely would. Oh my god.
It'd be so good that if you did, like, that Pokemon would be amazing.
Yeah. Mantine or Mantine or Mantine.
Mantine, Mantique.
Yep, that's not how it goes. Go ahead and tell them what you think about this.
Alright, I like Mantine a lot because firstly you have Defog. This thing is great. Heavy duty boots is fantastic. It gives him some solid hazard control. Good pivot, I guess, in a sense, because of water absorb. There's a lot of things it can sponge on the special side, and a nice fighting resist as well. I really like the core of like Ferrothorn, Reuniclus, Mantine, Kommo-o. I think those four like can fit really well together.
Yes.
As a core. And I mean, you can run offensive sets if you're on some weeks, maybe like in versus rain matchups too. Like, this is going to be a great mon that will help him out so much. Like Ferrothorn plus Mantine versus rain matchups, as we saw like a Kingdra Politoed, right?
Yep.
But other than that, like, I don't know if this thing gets flip turn or not.
No,
but
it doesn't. It'd be used. Imagine Poliwag or like Poliwhirl got Drizzle.
Yeah, no, that actually would
complete his
that
team.
would make his team so good. Like if that did, because Bear skewed up
or,
plus
or Wingull, even Wingull, like,
he has the makings of a rain team. If he had like a tier 5, yeah, like Wingull. Why doesn't Wingull get it?
I don't know it. We got Sir Fetchington's, another Moetmon for sure.
This is the Moetmon.
Oh, super Moetmon, dude. Oh my god. And like he has, it's just strong. It's strong. First impression. So he finally has some like priority for his squad. I mean,
Yeah.
Galvantula gets Sucker Punch if I'm not mistaken, but he finally has some priority for his squad. In two forms: Grassy Glide if he fights a Rillaboom, and First Impression. Just Scrappy close combat is really good. Intimidate doesn't stop it because of Scrappy. Knock off, Poison Jab, Brave Bird, good coverage, period. I think Bandit he can just bring every week. He has Sticky Web with it as well. I think Sir Fetch is going to be really good in Moet's hands.
It will be. And this thing also does have has defog now.
Yep.
Or I think it had it before too. But yeah, and it's also not limited to running just band and stuff. You could put a leak on this thing or a stick on this thing.
It. Put that stick.
Yeah, put that stick on this thing, and then it just crits every move basically, or most of the time. Leaf Blades are gonna be critting all the time though. That's gonna be fun to see.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I like it. We have Dreadnought, though he put Bolton. We have Dreadnought right there as a tier 4. I mean,
oh, there's Dreadnought there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but look at the bottom.
Oh, so Bolton has found a shell, and it has become a turtle.
It's actually this is what Bolton was before it
evolution.
Yep, before it straight up evolved. So
wow,
as you see right there, Dreadnought obviously complements Politoed extremely well. And for tier 4, I think it's really good. I think the cool thing about Dreadnought is it's like it's a water type that doesn't care about like Feral Thorn, because it has sewer power.
Yeah. In terms of swift swimmers, I like whenever I'm running a rain team, I really love like to have one special swift swimmer that's really good and then one physical swift swimmer that's really good. Kingdra fills the special role, and Dreadnought is a really solid physical one. It just reminds me of like the old day when I ran Pelipper, Kingdra, and Kabutops. It's kind of like that, it's kind of like that in a sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think another cool thing about it is that it has Mega Horn too now. So being able to Mega Horn those bulky grass types, like I think it, like let's say he fights Uzi and Uzi tries to go Tangrowth and Tangrowth just gets Life Orb Mega Horn. It's easy to a KO.
Yeah, +2 or even a +2 Mega Horn probably OKOs it, right?
Oh, easily.
Maybe.
For sure. And you probably have to bring Assault Vest versus him too because he has a Kingdra. So.
Yep.
That's a clean pick. Togetic. So we have Uzi picking up his. He really made use of defense when it came to his tier 5s. He got the Wish Passer. He got another Stealth Rocker and Electric Immunity, and then he has the Defogger and another Wish Passer in Togetic. So Togetic is also a fighting resist for his team. Which I think it's definitely something he wanted. Espeon is a frail fighting resist. Scolipede is a good fighting resist, but also very frail too. In some terms, like it's not going to be switching to certain fighting types, but Togetic can do that. And I think in terms of tier 5, it's a fine value. Thunder Waver, and I mean, you're not going to see it sweeping, even though it does get nasty plot. I doubt we see it sweep, but I think it's going to be like seismic tossing and defogging a lot for a squad. And that's like the main.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. No, it's a good budget fairy. Defog utility mon that you can pick up.
He really wanted that. I mean, there's a lack of fairies left, so I understand why he wanted to pick that up.
Yeah. Speaking of lack of fairies, though, Alcremie.
Ooh.
I feel like that was such a sleeper pick in tier 4, dude.
Yeah. Calm Mind.
For what it can do, like, think
Mystic
about
Fire,
it. You pair Necrozma with Alcremie, and then you have Necrozma setting up Calm Minds and Iron Defenses or whatever. Then you have Alcremie setting up
Acid
Calm Minds and Acid Armors.
Yeah. Or like even Mystical Fire, Dazzling. The important part is like it's beating the fighting types for Necrozma, so I think it pairs very well with him. He has T-Spike, he has Spike. It's a really good pick for him. A really, really good pick. And again, like Patty's team is really starting to come together. Obviously, he only has one pick left, but like I think it really fits in. He can run all 18 types or whatever they are, or like 30 types or whatever they look like.
Yeah. He can run all of them. Unfortunately, he can't bring them all to the same match, but I'd like to see that one. What is that one? There's like a special one. What's the special flavor?
Rainbow.
Is that the one? Yeah,
Rainbow
that's a cool one.
I don't know if that's that. So we see James. More VGC Pokemon, bro. Torracat. So he really went above and beyond with these babies. Now, Torracat.
He's like, if I can't get Cinderace, I get Reboot. If I can't get Clefable,
I'll get
Fairy.
Torracat.
If I can't get Incineroar, I get Torracat.
Yeah. Now, Torracat actually is, I've seen it sweep. I've seen it sweep in draft leagues and like higher tier draft leagues. Torracat's very fast. Yeah, I have.
How does it sweep? Like
it late game, like just like one.
How? What does it do?
It bulked up.
Oh.
It has Nasty Block too, if you didn't know. But
yeah, I know, and it has Burning Jealousy. I already know.
Yeah, whatever. But I mean, the cool thing about it is like much like Incineroar, it gets Pardon Shot as well as U-Turn, can taunt, and unlike Incineroar, it's actually fast, base 90. However, unlike Incineroar as well, it's not that bulky. 65 HP, 50 defenses. a piece, even with a Violite. That's not too much with that 65 HP, but you know, if you run physically defensive and you run Intimidate and you run a Violite, you will be taking hits. You're not a Skarmory, but you will definitely be taking hits. And I guess he wanted the, with Wish support, and he has good Wish passers.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Torracat is part dark, right?
If I'm not mistaken, Torracat is actually pure fire.
Ooh.
Which is why I guess
Pure
it doesn't get
fire.
knockoff. It gets crunch though, and
Huh.
and bite.
You would think that it was part dark, but it's not.
Oh, not at all. Hasn't gone down that path yet. But
It hasn't gone down the path.
I was
of
just trying to make like a
darkness.
Batman joke or something. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm about to say it's family hasn't been Marowak yet, but whatever.
Whoa, whoa. Wait,
Anyway,
whoa.
Torracat
Whoa.
is interesting. I think that his best tier 5 is definitely Frostlass. And I would say Clefairy after, just because Clefairy is really good. But I might be impressed by Torracat. Who knows?
Yeah, I'd like to be impressed. I really would.
Speaking of Torracat, what you think about this reskin one right here?
Oh, Luxray. No. This is a fantastic. No, don't even insult it that way, dude. Luxray is amazing. All right. Luxray with Guts is great. You know, this thing is a premier wall breaker. Tier 5? That's crazy. This thing should be like tier 2
Okay.
or 1. Nah. But, like, I remember running Luxray, and it was a Spark Guts Luxray. Spark is fantastic. It's like the electric type Scald with paralysis instead of burn. 30% para. You can click Facade too, and that'll probably obliterate mons as well. Super power for those other Pokemon like Rhyperior things is nice, and Ferrothorns and stuff. It's just a great amount of coverage. Speed tier is alright, it's not bad. Like he has
Intimidate.
Orbeetle to support it with Sticky Web, and having this Pokemon to absorb status is great. Gives him momentum too. He can run Volt Switch as well. I really like Luxray this generation in contrast to some of the other ones.
I think it's all right. For tier 5, sure. I like Orbeetle and Aromatisse a little bit more for what they can do. But I'm sure I mean, he has so much good offensive presence, right? Terrakion, Gengar, Gudra. Like, I'm sure Luxray is just going to add on.
I just like Terrakion, Gengar, Skarmory, Luxray on a team, Whimsicott on a team together, like, and Orbeetle maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
I
that's
feel
gonna
like
be fun.
I feel like Terrakion, Gengar, Skarm is something we'd run in like a video.
Yeah, definitely. No,
Maybe-
you know, actually, my I had a similar team that.
In black and white, I had a similar team.
Yeah, Black and White. It was like a Terrakion, Gengar, Genesect team.
Yep. So yeah, Luxray instead of Genesect. Linoon. Ooh, so this is interesting because Linoon got worse because they nerfed the berries, but
Yeah.
it's still not bad, right? It's still not bad. I think it's hard to get to sweep. I think it's very hard.
You used it before. You tried to bring it versus me.
I did.
actually.
In test games, it actually put in work. I never fought an Assault Vescurum, though. But in test games, I was able to win every game with it versus good draft players. So I was like, oof, not bad. But,
And even then, they were not the power of all. Were not enough to stop me.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't know about Emvee Curum. I should have knocked it off with my Necrozma, but it's fine. Either way. Linoon is interesting. I think he just wanted a normal type, I'm going to be honest. I think the speed tier,
Yeah.
though, is really nice. And who knows,
If
dude?
you went this route, like, you should have gotten Pangoro instead of Beware, I feel. Right?
For his squad, if he went this, I mean, he has Mandibuzz, so he doesn't really have to worry about dark types.
You know, but I mean, yeah, exactly. But in terms of like the breaking potential that Pangoro has,
Yeah, I could have seen that a little bit better for him. But, I mean, maybe he didn't know he wanted Linoon at that point, you know?
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
I mean, I don't think he would have gotten Linoon if he got Pangoro anyway. Like, as a normal type, there are not too many Pokemon down here that you probably want. So, I mean, I understand him just wanting to try and sweep, but it does force specific prep.
yeah.
You know, and I mean, his team is already annoying to prep for anyway. I'm sure we'll see something like Mandibuzz, Weezing, Defensive Arcanine, Defensive Rotom-Mow, Defensive Mudsdale, plus Belly Drum Linoon, or something, right?
Yeah, glad I'm not having to face that.
Gorgeist. Ooh, I love this mod. Bro. Poltergeist and Power Up, they did Gorgeist really good this generation. Poltergeist and Power Up make it a great offensive threat now. It already had a good move pool anyway on the special side and physical, but now it has stronger moves, right? It had to use Phantom Force, but now it can use Poltergeist. It had to use Seed Bomb or Bullet Seed, but now it can use Power Whip. So, good offensive one. Gives him a Ghost type as another spin blocker too. Couples really well with Jellicent as well. I kind of, I mean, he has Klefki with Lucario. I was going to say, I kind of like to see a different steel with his squad, but I mean they're good
Yeah.
Pokemon.
The
Period.
twist is he can use any size Gourgeist he wants.
Which is
So
big in terms of speed or bulk. Yeah.
yeah, and that can really be a determining factor in how he builds his teams, because he can change the size of the pumpkin to match the matchup, because they, of course, like you said, they both have different types of bulk, speeds, and stuff. But I think Poltergeist is probably one of the best gifts it has. It also has Nasty Plot now, by the way.
Ooh.
Um, so it can run a special set. It has some really good special moves in the Grass Ghost, Flamethrower, Moon Blast, Psychic type attacks as well.
Yeah.
Charge Beam. Ooh,
Yeah,
Charge
Shadow
Beam?
Ball as well, so that's cool. And it's interesting because it's a completely different grass type than Appleton. While they both can subseed, just a reliable cover. I mean, this one has synthesis too. It's just this one can be a lot more offensive, I feel.
It gets Skitter Smack as well.
Yeah, nobody
Um,
ever uses that move.
Why not? Why?
That move sucks, but I'm probably gonna use it in the video now, just cause.
Nice.
But yeah, I like that for Chimp. Ooh, and this is why Emvee was asking about the rune. I knew that, but
Now, let me tell you why Rune is the superior ground ghost Pokemon. Okay, let me tell you why. Firstly, right? Oh, I guess for my team in particular, it gets T-Spikes. T-Spikes I think are going to be
Yes.
nice for something like a Hex Dragapult. T-Spikes and Stealth Rocks are great. It gives me a more defensive ground type. Mamoswine is an offensive ground, but it might not want to switch into a lot of the hits. And in particular, Rune is immune to fighting type attacks,
Yep.
which is great. It's a Pokemon that can also fully deal with like a Terrakion, for instance.
Wandering
That
Spirit.
Mamoswine. So what was that? Oh yeah, and Wandering Spirit is actually a useful ability too. You swap abilities and you can steal something more useful, which I think is really cool with this Pokemon. I remember like when I was playing it in OU. I've used this thing in OU quite a bit sometimes, and I remember swapping abilities with the Libero Cinderace.
Yeah.
And then I
Like
was a
stab.
Libero Rune, but like
Gets
like the
Poltergeist
whole
now too, bro.
ability.
Gets
Mhm.
Poltergeist now.
Yeah, and it does get Poltergeist, exactly. I wanted a ghost that had Poltergeist, because Dragapult would have been so good if it got
It would have been
Poltergeist,
broken.
wouldn't
It would have been broken.
Exactly.
But I
And
think
so-
that like they should have gave it Shadow Sneak, man. That would have been the cherry on top, Because like imagine Bandit with Earthquake, Poltergeist, Shadow Sneak, and Trick.
Exactly, I could see that. Yeah, that would have been nice. It doesn't really get any priority, but it can Trick Room, which is something that the other two can't do, I think. And in that way, it's really nice. And yeah, Will-O-Wisp and stuff too. Iron Defense, Body Press, but it's a really good body presser. Like this thing's defenses are fantastic. I don't know, maybe even Combine could be viable. I mean, this thing does get it. Like I just like this Pokemon because it provides a lot more like support than like that like the kind of support that I need. And yeah, it's like there are a couple things that I'm thinking of that I could do with it that people don't know about.
No, I mean for sure. I think it's a good mon for your squad, and I think the secondary electric immunity really pairs well with our third electric immunity. Excuse me, depending on your lantern ability, really pairs well with like Togekiss. So I like it.
Thank
It's
you,
a good
thank
stealth
you.
rocker. I think for your squad in particular, it's probably is better than Palisand, just a T-Spike variant.
Yeah.
And then we have Vileplume coming from Fruit. Now, Vileplume is a good mon. Like, it can abuse Sun if he wants to bring, Sunny Day. Plus, like, Chlorophyll, obviously. It has the Moonblast, which is nice for, like, dealing with those pesky Pokemon like Hydreigon. Strength Sap, obviously, is very scary. Sleep Powder. Effect Spore can be extremely annoying on this Pokemon, too. Leech Seed, Moonlight for recovery. Giga Drain, obviously. I think I mentioned Sludge Bomb already, too. So, I like Vileplume. It gets Swords Dance as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it does.
And Drain Punch.
And this thing is so like difficult to knock out with Strength Sap. It's an excellent mon to deal with Zero Aura.
Yes.
And even Conkeldurr, you just run enough speed and they can't OHKO you, right?
Yep.
With any move, you just Strength Sap and keep yourself healthy while lowering their attack. I like Vileplume a lot. I actually gave Moet a Chinese Vileplume set, Chinese TV spread for it that he used on the ladder in one of his videos, and he said that it was his favorite Pokemon that I've ever given him.
Yeah. Was it the only Pokemon you ever given him?
I'm pretty sure I've given him Pokemon in the past, but I think just having a fresh perspective on a Vileplume really sort of opened up Moet's eyes to my
that man
Chinese
Moet
team.
didn't trust any of Emvee's sets. They're like, huh, you finally did something right, Emvee. Good job. Good job. But yeah, guys, that rounds up round 10, and now we are going into the final round of this draft.
Oh,
of WBE.
this is the one, the bread. Like
Yes.
this is like
This is
the
it.
cherry on the top.
This will be finalizing team. So guys, what I want you to do, if you're actually getting this far, leaving a like, subscribing to both me and Emvee helps us out. Leave a comment on which team you like most, which picks you like, which picks you disagree with, etc. All that stuff. I want to see 10,000 comments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's see that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let us know what your favorite teams are, what your favorite picks are.
Who you rooting for?
Yeah, and tell me how good my team is if you can.
Yeah, Emvee
Appreciate
literally
that.
goes in the WBE chat and say, "Hey guys, who likes my team?" Whenever
I was like, how do you guys like my team now? Like,
but he says that after we're talking about somebody else's team to somebody. He's like, "Hey, no,
Look,
pick
make
me."
sure y'all subscribe to me. Like, we're on the road to 50K.
I'm on the road to
Subscribe Joey, he's on the road to
250K as
300.
well, and 300K
Yeah,
by the end of the year. 300K
Yeah,
by the end of the year. But yeah, guys, let's go into the last round. So we are starting off the final round with Rhydon, and I've drafted Rhydon multiple times. It is one of my favorite Pokemon to use in draft in terms of defensive Pokemon. Gives Stealth Rock as well. So he has another Stealth Rocker now alongside Marowak and Clefable, which are Pokemon that might, when it comes to Marowak, you might want to just start attacking with that Pokemon. And obviously when it comes to Clefable, there's a lot you can do with that Pokemon. So gives him a beautiful ground type for his team. Rhydon is an extremely valuable tier 5. I've even seen it in tier 4 in some drafts too. You are limited to a Violite, which is something that, you're not limited. You could run Focus Sash. I've run Focus Sash with Metal Burst. I've ran Choice Band. I've ran Life Orb, Rock Polish. So there are definitely certain things you can do with Rhydon. But Dual Dance, Mega Horn, I like Rhydon. And Emvee, you have any closing words on Rhydon?
I think it's cool. I think it's a cool mon. I like Rhyperior more than Rhydon, but I think for the value that Rhydon can give for Barry's team, because he never really had a ground type before, right?
Yep.
I think it will definitely help out a lot. And I do like Rhydon's versatility. It can run quite a few sets offensively and defensively.
Emvee, your final pick. Shuckle.
I picked up Shuckle, dude. This is my favorite sticky webber. And I was looking at my team and I was like, okay, we got Togekiss, we got Mamoswine, we got Obstagoon, we got Dragapult Spin Blocker, okay. Pokemon that can work well under webs. Let's see what web Pokemon are left, okay. I was like, okay. Orbeetle's gone. I think it was like, and then Araquanid is gone as well. But I wasn't looking at either of those. I was looking only at one Pokemon. That Pokemon is Shuckle.
Big shot.
Does not only get webs, it also gets rocks. Whenever I make a sticky webs team, this is the Pokemon that I always love to start with. Because it just does what it does best. It prevents setup sweeping as well with Encore. It can stop a Pokemon trying to switch into Defog or something with Final Gambit. It also does not have to run sticky web sets. It can run bulky sets with Contrary Shell Smash.
Yeah, I was about to say Contrary Shell Smash, Toxic, Rush. Why not? Infestation stuff. You can red card and Melter Herb. Hey, why not, man? Shuckle fits your team. Period.
I think so too, yeah. And I just like it because it's another thing that people have to think about, right? Because I can bring T-Spikes, I can bring a web matchup team, I can bring this Pokemon, people have to think about it and prep around it.
Agreed.
So in that way too, Shuckle is I think a mon that will provide a lot of value outside of the matches inside, like the team builder and stuff.
It's also a Pokemon on your team that will get a knockoff off. Like it's like Obstagoon and Mamoswine, people might be a little bit shaky about bringing in certain mons, but like Shuckle can definitely knock off an item because people are going to be like, oh, you're going to Stealth Rock and webs and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Scizor for the Scizors. Thoughts on this, bro?
The mascot pick, first of all. Second of all, I think it works. It works really well with this team. Priority Bullet Punch is fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially with hazards, like all these hazards up and stuff. U-turning with Scizor, maybe like Volt Turn with Zero Aura as well. And then you can run like SD sets and stuff. I think it's a Chimpact mod. Like Scizor is definitely a Chimpact mod.
Yeah.
Not just for the mascot, but just for like his.
He's gonna run like
style.
144 HP, 12 attack, like 252 defense. That way it lives like 2 earthquakes on 2%, and then like Roost Stall an entire.
Are you saying a Chinese spread?
No. This is a Chimpact spread.
Oh.
Well, don't worry.
I thought you were continuing like 144.
No. This one was
HP, 12 attack, 252 defense.
I like
56 FDF or speed. Like something like that.
I like Scizor for a squad too. I think he definitely overlapped on some types, but they're all different Pokemon, and I like that. Like they're different in terms of what they do. We have Mawile, so him picking up a different steel type as well. I think if he wanted a more, H-Slash can be super defensive as well. It's both defensive and offensive, but Stealth Rock can Baton Pass with Super Fang as well. Can't baton pass with Swords dances though. Keep that in mind, or anything it wants to do. But Super Fang, I've used Maul on draft. I've used Sheer Force Life Orb. I've used defensive, and it was good. It was alright. Like I mean, for his squad, I mean, he just probably just wanted another intimidate
Rocker
mod,
or something,
another
maybe,
rocker as well, because he only has 2. So it makes a lot of sense for his team. He did trade away Paliswan, like I said, which is probably going to be a Pokemon that would come like all his games. Yeah, I like it as a rocker. I think not a lot of. I mean, there is a lot of good Pokemon in Tier 5. There are a lot of good Pokemon in Tier 5, and there probably was other rockers too. But in terms of a value steal pick, I think Mawile low-key a sleeper just because of Super Fang and kind of with his team. You know, it like he has Mons that can really wear Pokemon down and chip away, and Mawile just helps with that.
It's alright, I guess.
Cloyster, scary. Period.
Oh, dude, like his team makes so much sense. Like Terrakion, Gengar, Skarm, Cloyster, Whimsicott, and like Orbeez and stuff. Like Cloyster, very dangerous. Shell Smash, Sweeper. King's Rock is so annoying. That thing is gonna be just a pain to deal with. That +2 speed and everything, and attack and special attack. And it can run mixed sets as well. It's not limited to physical attack, so it can tailor its set for the match. It can also run defensive sets with spikes, rapid spin, and teleport.
Yep. I think just the fact that he can run Sticky Web plus King's Rock and just literally not even Shell Smash, just click Icicle Spear if he wants is great. And if you actually look at his first few members, Terrakion, Gengar, Skarm, Cloyster, Whimsicott, Gastrodon, Goodra, these are all mons that were used a lot in Gen 5. So it's funny just to see them all together.
Yeah, it does have like a kind of Gen 5 vibe.
Obviously, we know Skarm, Gen 2, etc., but it does have that. It does have
competitive
that,
aspect. Gen,
yeah. Let's keep going with the draft. We got Dhelmise the God, and I love Dhelmise. I think it fits really well for his team. I think that the fact that it has like Rapid Spin, Poltergeist, Grassy Glide now too. Obviously, Dhelmise has three stabs, right? Because it has the Ghost and exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Grass and Steelworker, which gives a stab on that. Anchor Shot is so nice, and you know when you have a great defensive backbone, Amoonguss, Umbreon, Rhyperior, Dhelmise, why not? You know.
Fun fact, actually, besides Alolan Marowak, the strongest Poltergeist in the game right now is actually Dhelmise.
Is that actually true?
Mm-hmm. Well, it has the highest attack stat.
Well, yeah,
Poltergeist.
it's stronger than Golurk, right? But like it's 397 versus what, 383, something like that. I believe it's 397.
Base 130. Yeah, it's base 131 attack versus 124.
Dhelmise is like deceptively strong, and it has
It is.
And like for an Alolan Pokemon, it doesn't have the worst HP stat at base 70. I'm surprised it doesn't have base 50. You know, like base 100 defense, base 90 special defense. Synthesis it has a phenomenal move pool, both on special and physical. Like
I feel like if James picked up like a Trick Rumor, then this thing would be like all on a new level of scary.
I mean, he does have a Trick Rumor.
What?
Does Clefairy not learn Trick Room?
No.
It doesn't. Wow. It actually
You didn't know
doesn't.
that? Otherwise Trick Room teams would have Clefable on them.
That's true. Yeah, that's actually very true. I forgot about that. Also, Dhelmise gets Hydro Pump and Liquidation now. So
Hydro Pump.
Yeah, gets Hydro Pump and Liquidation, and it has base 86 special attack. So good pick.
I'd like to see ground types run away from Hydro Pump.
Fire types, but mainly, but obviously.
Yeah,
but
fire types.
Hey, big Golurk, man. I think this really rounds out his team well. The Ghost type.
It does for sure.
Yeah, the Ghost type. The electric immunity, the Stealth Rock as well. Like he went from having no Stealth Rock options to 2 really good Stealth Rockers. I mean, he had Silvally, but I mean, like not Silvally. He had that was it.
Yeah, just Ferroseed Golurk.
Did I say Stealth Rock before on Silvally? I might have said Stealth Rock before. I didn't mean that. My bad. He had Necrozma, excuse me. That's the one I meant.
Necrozma has Stealth Rock. I keep looking at that mono. I'm like, dude, this thing is just gonna run all sorts of
Dragon
setup
Dance and setup. Yeah, but it does get Stealth Rock. It does. But I think Golurk is a phenomenal tier 5. Offensively, it's great. As Poltergeist now can klutz, so it can switch switcheroo.
Items to trick.
Yeah, exactly. It can do that with Aurora. Assault Vest, as well as Flame Orb and Toxic Orb, without having to actually fear the effects of them because of its klutz ability. And I love Golurk.
It's a tough mon to switch into, bro. Like Poltergeist, Earthquake, the combination of which it's crazy, and you can run like easily like an Iron Fist boosted punch move for like Mandibuzz or something.
Yep, exactly.
or just no guard, like dynamic punch everything. That's insane.
I know you like Polyrath now. You want to talk about this one?
Yeah, I've formed a bond with Polyrath lately. I've been running that thing on Rain with Belly Drum, Liquidation, Drain Punch, and Earthquake. Polyrath has gotten so much better. I don't personally know how much better it will be on a weatherless Rain team. On Rain, it was crazy good. But this thing gets new coverage moves. Like this thing gets Drain Punch, it gets close combat, Darkest Lariat as well. I think that itself changes this Pokemon so much because back in the day, like your coverage was like
Brick
break or circle throw.
Freaking trash.
Yeah.
Freaking trash.
Yeah, but it's much better now. I think it's probably better now outside of Rain than it was prior gens in Rain, besides Generation 5 and below because there was Infinite Rain then.
Yeah, it gives him a water immunity though.
It does give him a water immunity, yes. I think he told me that he wanted Jellicent before Chinback took it, but Poliwrath, I think, is still really great for his team in the sense that it's just a bulky water. Yeah. And it can be offensive too in run setup sets. And I think just Drain Punch makes it so much better because it can heal now with its
it can
attack.
sub Drain Punch like bulk up sets too.
Yeah.
So really excited to see him use this mon in itself. Pikachu. So he's really just enjoying his tier 5s, I feel, like more than making them like the strongest. No, Pikachu's a good mon. Like, don't get me wrong. This is a mon that definitely we've messed people up in multiple tiers just because of its speed tier and light ball.
The only reason I really love this pick is because now Zoroark can be an illusion, disguise itself in a Mimikyu, and Mimikyu is disguised itself into a Pikachu, and then Pikachu is disguised itself behind a Mimikyu.
As a Zoroark.
Zoroark.
Yeah, I like that about it. Now, it's interesting that he has this with Bolton, but, I mean, he can run 100% accurate Thunders and Rain. And, you know, Pikachu got some moves, bro. Pikachu got some moves, man. I don't know. I think this is going to be a fun pick for him. I definitely think he'll make some... he already made some trades, but I definitely think he'll make some trades as well. He has until...
the season.
Yeah. He has until week 4, and I think specifically that might be his lower tiers that he'll do with tier 5. But overall, I do like his, like, tiers 1 through 4. I think Tyranitar is definitely a little bit of an oddball, but it gives him something that his team is scared about, and that's Dragapult resist, you know?
Yeah.
Like, for sure, that's something that it gives him. Otherwise, look at Dragapult. Look at Scarf Dragapult and look at his team. You just come in and you kill everything.
You're going to have a lot of fun in this matchup.
Yeah, exactly. So I like that about Tyranitar. And we have Marini. Moveset, Mandibuzz, and Toxapex gone. Vullaby, Marini, here I go. Thoughts on Marini? I was trying to convince you to get it, actually.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, I remember you're telling me that Pokemon might be good for my team and stuff. Personally, like, I don't know. It's not, like, the kind of mon that I'd use, like, personally. I don't run Toxapex very much at all either, like, in my videos and stuff. I don't remember the last time I ran Toxapex.
Instead of Regenerator stalling them, you're more of a Wish Protector.
Yeah, exactly. I'm more of a Wish Protect kind of person instead of a Regen Recover. Oh, I did use Toxapex thing on one of my stall teams, but yeah, my team in particular, I think, benefited more with, like, Lantern with Volturn and having that electric and water immunity. Marini itself, though, I mean, like, think about it, right? Moet's going in with Vullaby as, like, a Mandibuzz. Marini is like a Toxapex. You know, for his team, it's great because it gives him the T-Spikes. It gives him that Regenerator pivot that he needs to get into some of his more offensive threats. And it can do a lot of the same things that Toxapex can do. You know, it can knock off, it can Baneful Bunker. I think it still gets that.
I don't know if it gets that. I'm gonna be honest.
You don't think so? Wait a second. Let me.
I feel like that might be Toxapex's signature move.
Let's see. You were right. You were right.
Yeah, but either way, it does still a lot of the stuff that Toxapex does. And if
Haze mainly, like, it can do that really well.
Yeah, and if you're running a Violet plus physically defensive. First off, it's actually faster than Toxapex, if you guys didn't know. Secondly, it has the exact same HP as Toxapex. And if you're running physically defensive, it's about as defensive as especially defensive Toxapex on the physical side within a Violet. So
that is a very fun fact.
Yeah, that's a really interesting mod. Manectric finishing up his team, man. So I feel like before he was really getting the the hazard controls, right? The Mantine, the Sand Slash, and now he's picking up his Electric type. And I have to say, I really like Steve's team. Like this draft, I feel like it's one of those super interesting ones. And guys, Steve made it and he won last season. So he went on like a.
He got disqualified, unfortunately, which he doesn't like to remember. But
yes.
He made it to the finals.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah, he did win, but he got disqualified because he used a set that was
illegal Vaporeon set.
So Kyle ended up winning. My bad.
Yeah.
But they both last season, they both went on like a rampage. Like, it was crazy. They did really well. And
Yep.
like a Manectric, giving him another electric immunity because of its lightning rod. Losing hidden power is big, but the Volt Switch, the Thunders, the overheats, the switcheroos, I think, and Subtoxic as well. I think just speed tier is cool for him.
I just like the Volturn combination he has between Barraskewda, Manectric, even perhaps Comfy, and this Chinchino. Like, he has like good momentum. He has good hazards as well to force things out, trap people in the vortex with hazards on the field, and then just a Como O sitting there. I feel like his whole team is just built really well around Como. Como O is the star of this team.
Yep, easily. And then I think Barraskewda is just such a huge value pick for him at tier 3.
Yeah.
So I picked up a second Excadrill and a Alolan Dugtrio. What do you think about my mon, bro?
Excadrill 1 goes down, but like, wait, but I got Excadrill number 2.
I got the guaranteed Sand Force.
You got the Sand Rush and the Sand Force. You got like the combination of the two right there. I mean, I think this is great for your team because it fits with Gigalith and the whole theme of your team. And sometimes you might not want to bring Drill because you have a little Dugtrio that you just want to show off.
there's no might not want to bring Drill, bro. I could be fighting Rain, and I'm pretty sure I'll bring Drill. That's a good mon.
Yeah.
But I think that Dougie gives me again a secondary. Like, this mon is actually like low key a problem. Like, and the mons that Excadrill, let's say the mons that Excadrill doesn't like, right? Or the mons that Dugtrio doesn't like, right? So let's say Bronzong, Rotom Heat maybe because I have Sand Force anyway in attacks. But Bronzong and all that, I can just run Mold Break Excadrill with Sand Force alone Dougie. And
or you could run like Tangled Hair plus Dracozolt.
Oh, exactly. I mean, legit. That's like legitimate strategies I could do, and I can run Sandville too, and just dodge. Sub Sand Attack. Shoot, that's not illegal. I could use that.
Yeah.
I might.
I guess you can.
Or with Tangling Hair, and then I Iron Head flinch you.
Dude, why is this all about? Why is it turning into a hacks man now?
I'm gonna do what I do. I swear, if I miss one move with Dracozolt, I'm changing my entire game plan this season.
You're gonna miss.
If I miss one move ever with Dracozolt and it matters, my entire game plan is changing.
Add a 0 to that 1, so you'll be missing 10 moves.
Nope. If I miss one move, I'm telling you, every mon is gonna be para flinching and doing all that stuff. Shoot, that's it. Moving on. We have Sharpedo. I love Sharpedo, man. The flip turn continues between this, Primarina, and Dragalge. He got Volt Turn too in the flips. He has Speed Boost. He has he doesn't have spikes, he does have Toxic Spike, but he doesn't have Spike. Well, he does, Diggersby. What am I even saying? Yo,
he has a Diggersby.
Hey, man. Hey, I love Shark late game. I feel
like his team has some of the best offensive momentum that you've seen on all of these teams. With Jirachi, with Diggersby, with Sharpedo, and then he has the Rotom Fan, he has the Primarina, the Dragalge flip turning and stuff. Dangerous team, and I feel like he can just bring 6 threats, send one out after another, and just
and literally, like, he doesn't have to. It could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 team. Doesn't have to switch if he doesn't want to. He'll be putting in work. Beautiful pick for him, and the speed control it gives him just because of its speed boost is nice. And there it is, man. My boy Callum finally picks up an OU mon.
Yeah, and I think this is also another one of the best momentum teams. Overall.
I'm gonna tell you right now, dude. Cinderace, the second best mon I ever drafted. I ran the same set every week. I ran a bunch of HP. I ran heavy duty boots, and I was like Taunt, Super Fang, Pyro Ball, U-turn every week, and it was so consistent. And it only died like twice the entire season because it was so good at what it did. It was absolutely so good at what it did. Obviously, guys, this is Blaze. He cannot run Libero, so he will not be messing us up with a broken ability. But it's still such a good Pokemon, man.
I like it. It's just a really colorful team. He's got the colors. He's got Cinderace. He's got Tentacruel, Serena, Porygon Z, like Cobalion. I like it, dude. I like it a lot.
Nah, it's a beautiful squad, and honestly,
it's really offensive though. Like, he doesn't really have that great of a defensive pivot. Tentacruel is not the best defensive switch in.
But maybe that's his style. He doesn't really need that.
I mean, that is the overall style. I think that's fine. And I think that's fine because Grimmsnarl screens can help soften up the damage.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to do a lot more damage and he's probably going to be taking as well. Yeah. We have Fan Attacks. We're coming up the second to last pick of the draft, drafting Raichu. I think that was something that we kind of talked about, how the electric types are kind of going, and he wanted to pick one up. Raichu has a good speed tier. Raichu has good support moves in like Nuzzle. Raichu as Encore as well. It also gets Nasty Plot.
Yeah,
And has really good coverage. Like even without hitting power, it has really good coverage. You know, Surf, Grass Knot, Focus Blast. So it's a good mon, and he's retaining that speed tier. And again, I'm really scared about playing him week 1.
He has a lot of threats. I'm gonna be very curious to see how
That
you
game,
deal with
yeah,
him.
that game. I'll tell you right now. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna tell you right now. Draco, if I bring Dracozoan and it misses an attack, that's it. I'm hacking. I'm saying
He's gonna become.
I'm
He's
saying
gonna
attacking.
become Haxie.
That's it. I'm saying attacking. So I do like this pick though for him. The electric immunity with Lightning Rod plus Quagsire as well. He has one Stealth Rocker though, which is might end up being his downfall. But at the same time, like I said, when I played in the AP, I didn't even bring rocks. I found them almost unnecessary. I don't know what it was. I did have spikes a lot. I did have T-spikes, but didn't really bring rocks.
Yeah, it just depends, I guess, on the matchups and stuff. I feel like for his team, he can also just pressure other Stealth Rockers with Hatterene and bounce them back. So he can afford to just have one rocker on his team because of the magic bounce factor that he has. But
I mean, he has a million wall breakers, so
yeah,
like actually a million. The final pick of the draft, Emvee. Go ahead and take it away.
Rillaboom. Rillaboom
This
is
is Grassy
here.
Surge, by the way, guys.
Yeah, this is probably like the best last final pick of a draft. Like you never just see like a Rillaboom getting picked up last. Like Grassy Surge, and I'm so surprised that this Pokemon was not taken in like I guess comparison to some of the other stuff that was taken round 1 and round 2. I guess in tier 1 or like Rillaboom is just such a great mon.
Yep.
I remember Chimpact telling me that he was thinking about also getting this mon, but you know he wanted to try Zero Aura. And this fits. This literally just makes the team make sense. You know, with his unburdened users in Hitmonlee and Driftblim, and now he gets the ground. He gets to weaken the ground type attacks to help out, you know, Steelix and stuff too. And Colossal, I guess too. If you
flip turn, all that stuff.
And he's got the momentum. The speed on his team is amazing. Keldeo, Weavile, Scarf Gardevoir, Salazzle, Hitmonlee, the Unburdened Mons, and then Rillaboom's Grassy Glide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I drafted Rillaboom in the APA, and it was all right. It was all right. Like but it didn't have Grassy Glide. If I had Grassy Glide, there would have been so many times I would just smacked with it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Nexus is definitely like his team is so threatening.
Yeah, it's very hard to switch into as well. Like I definitely put it up there, but
and I play him week 1.
Nice. I mean, that's an exciting game. I care. Don't be mad, but I'm watching his first because Nexus is my favorite person to watch in Draft League, just because of his reactions. I will watch a second though. But
right.
Guys, that is the draft for this season. So guys, tell us which. We'll do a quick little run back. Tell us which person you liked the most throughout this all. Of course, week 1 will be starting for the singles division next Saturday at I don't know, whenever people want to put up their battles. Hopefully, I got to remind everybody in the chat. But also, if you guys want to see the doubles draft, go to A-Drive stream, twitch.tv/A-Drive. That should be live at 1 p.m. Actually, if you watch this entire video through, it goes right to 1 p.m.
Oh, there's my team right there. There's my team right there. Oh, look at that.
But yeah, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe. I believe Chimpact will be putting out power rankings too on his
power rankings narrated by myself. Chimp Android does indeed join that video.
I joined towards the end because I was around. But yeah, if you want to check that out, I know there's a few other people as well doing things like Leo and I think Shuckle King are doing a few things they asked about it. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff to watch. But leave a like. We were here for 3 hours. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Goodbye.